is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! Left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the back for one out, throws to first, it is in time, a double play!
Pitch, breaking ball lifted deep to center field, and it is gone! A 2-run shot for Cody Hosey.
A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Stephen Huff.
Newport's season is on the line as they face elimination here in the Southern Division Championship game. How you doing, everybody? Stephen Huff getting you set for tonight's matchup between the Martha's Vineyard Sharks and Newport Gulls here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In Game 1, it was a pitching duel between these two sides as Brian Ketchy, the starter for the Vineyard, went 8 innings of 1-run baseball en route to the 2-1 victory for the Sharks. The Gulls could only muster together 5 hits on the day against the Vineyard staff. Since it's a 3-game series, Newport has to win tonight and tomorrow to advance to the championship series, while the Vineyard just has to win one of those 2 games. It's the Gulls and Sharks right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show. It's time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Stephen Huff alongside Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, and Keith Chattonover, the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. And Nick, I'm going to turn to you first. Obviously, it's the first game of the series between these two teams yesterday. It was a tough loss for the Gulls, just a tough one all around.
Yeah, definitely a tough one for the Gulls, but I mean, backs against the wall, so that I think they can come back and force a Game 3 tomorrow.
Of course, it was 2-1, so the pitching was on, but you said backs against the wall. What do the Gulls have to do better tonight to avoid elimination in their season ending?
You know, I think the key for them is just get guys on base and try and get them in. I mean, if you get guys on base, a lot of good can happen. And then just from a pitching standpoint, you know, don't try and go too deep into your bullpen. Don't allow too many runs right off the bat.
And then, of course, Keith, turning this one over to you. You and I were over there at the Vineyard yesterday. We said it was a 2-1 victory for the Sharks. And Brian Ketchy, I mean, 8 innings of 1-run baseball. He was on yesterday.
Yes, he was. And sometimes when you see Brian Ketchy, there are times when he can put the ball wherever he wants in any count, any pitch he wants. That was last night. 8 innings, 1 run. He was fantastic. And then Spinelli with the save. Couldn't have been better for the Sharks, and they'll look to win the series tonight with Daniel Hagerty. He's on the mound for the Sharks tonight.
And you mentioned Daniel Hagerty, and it was pitching yesterday. What do you expect to see from him on the mound today?
Well, one of the things I love most about Daniel, and I'm not shy about telling him this, he works awfully quickly, and it is just fantastic to call a game of his as a broadcaster because it just it sometimes can take a short amount of time, which of course we like, and he gets the ball and he fires it, and when he gets into a rhythm, he's a tough guy to beat.
Well, it should be a good one. First pitch between the Gulls and Sharks at 6:35 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls pregame show continues right now.
And welcome back to the NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show. I'm John Perrick, and it's time for the front office report, as I'm joined right now with the Newport Gulls Director of Baseball Operations, Michael Falcone. Michael, here we are, Game 2. Only 4 wins away from completing this whole entire trifecta of a championship. But right now, big game tonight. What do you think we should be expecting for the Newport Gulls?
We're going to come out fire and going to come out aggressive is what I would expect after last night. Hopefully taking a couple more pitches. Didn't walk at all last night. Didn't really have many base runnings. I mean, that's a testament to their pitcher. But I think the guys will come out aggressive, yet trying to work the count a little bit more because we had somebody go so deep in the game last night. So it should be fun, though. The guys are going to come out hot, I hope.
Well, let's hope, but you talk about Saturday. You were talking about last time out, of course. We had a big attendance here, great atmosphere. Tell me a little bit about how you kind of put Saturday together. Of course, it was not on the Newport Gulls regular season schedule. Tell me a bit about, like, the promotional side of it.
The second we knew we were in, we knew we were the 2 seed, we knew we were going to host, we just started ramping that up. So social media is your number one. Our A-frames around town. We got 2 big banners up on the fence, up on the outside of the park for couple days there, so we let that matriculate. We have a large email distribution list and just word of mouth. Had the interns, had myself running up and down Thames Street, West Main, Broadway, passing out flyers. So any way we can get the word out, because the guys feed off the energy in the crowd, and it's my job to help facilitate that.
So then what should we be expecting from the crowd tonight?
I hope another really passionate crowd here at Cardines. I hope yourself, leading them on, leading the charge as the master of ceremonies, can pump them up. But I'm excited to see what we have. You got another beautiful night, and just need a win. I'm not done playing yet, and I know these guys aren't.
Well, of course, this is your 3rd year as the director of baseball operations. It's your 4th year with the team. How big is tonight, just for you?
This is the biggest game we've played in thus far in my duration with the team, so it's extremely important. I mean, we have a chance to win a Southern Division title, not only, and then an NECBL title. So hopefully we can first capture this one and really play a good game tonight, and then go into tomorrow. I mean, we still have a lot of games that need to be played, and it's just about going out there, hoping the guys have some fun and taking care of business.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Michael Falcone. I'm John Perrick, and the NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show continues next.
Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show. It's time for the Coach's Corner, and I'm joined alongside, for the first time, both the hitting coach for the Gulls, Jim Sorrow, and the pitching coach, Greg Zackerson. And Sorrow, I'm going to turn to you first. Of course, we were in the Vineyard yesterday. We had our tradition, the ice cream as we wait for the ferry. Today, we're back in Newport. We both had awful waffles.
Yes, that was a nice treat. One of our fellow fans came and brought the coaching staff some awful waffles, and that really hit the spot.
Now, of course, that might be good luck for us here tonight, but you lead the team. Your team leads the team in hits in the NECBL. What's gone into this team, I mean, to have that such success all the season?
Well, these kids have bought into, hitting it where it's pitched and using the whole field. And, anytime you get a team that wants to use the whole field, you can get a lot of hits, because there's a lot of talent on this team.
And, of course, one of those guys that's leading the way is Scott Holzwasser. He's batting leadoff again tonight. Talk a little bit about what he means to this team.
Oh, Scotty's he's the guy that really gets us going. He's our little spark plug for us. And he's really been using the middle and the opposite field well, and he's showing the country that he's got a lot of power in that area as well. And, he came in having pull side power, and now he's showing that he has middle and opposite field power, and he's really been a really pleasing player to coach this summer.
Well, the bats have been hot lately, so hopefully they are again tonight. Now I'm going to go over to you, Coach. Zackerson, of course, the pitching has been hot as well. Only 2 runs given up yesterday between Dylan Brown and Garrett Schmeltz. A good outing for both of them.
Yeah, Garrett came in. Dylan, they worked him pretty hard. They worked a lot of 7-8 pitch at-bats. So Garrett came in and did an outstanding job.
Now, of course, with the playoffs, you're playing just about every single day. You have to watch your arms a little bit. You threw 2 of the better arms yesterday. How do you balance, all the depth going into these playoffs?
Well, it's going to be tough. We've lost some arms. The balance is going to be, we're going to have to find the guys that are hot and give them a chance. I mean, the whole season they've had opportunities, so now it's their chance to shine when they get them. And we're just going to have to go by the league's pitch count rules, which are there to help the players. So, we'll just kind of roll with that, and we'll see how things go.
Now, of course, Justin Cherry's out there on the mound for the Gulls. We talked about him last time. You mentioned his intestinal fortitude. The backs are against the wall for Newport, so you need some of that intestinal fortitude again tonight.
Yeah, Hollywood hopefully will pitch well tonight. The kid always gets out there, and he always thinks he's got the best stuff on the field, which is what we need tonight. Someone who thinks he's confident enough to go out and beat a team, and hopefully he's got his stuff. Cherry gets by with his, slider and changeup, really helps him. And that's kind of what we need tonight. These guys swung it last night, put up a lot of good ABs, so we hope you can get some weak contact early so we can get some length out of them.
Well, it should be a good one. He's Jim Sorrow. He's Greg Zackerson. I'm Stephen Huff. Gulls and Sharks are coming up next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Stephen Huff and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
It's the Battle of the Islands, and Newport finds themselves with their backs against the wall as they face elimination here tonight against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. We welcome you into Cardines Field. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, Keith Chattenover, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. And this is the second game. It's a series of 3 in this Southern Division Championship round. And the Sharks got the better end of the Gulls yesterday.
They did. They pulled off a 2-1 victory. Brian Ketchy was the story, plain and simple. 8 innings, 1 earned run. He earned the win. Spinelli then an easy 9th inning. Sharks only batted for 5 hits. It was enough. They won 2-1, looking to clinch the series tonight on the road, which is not going to be an easy task, to say the least.
Yeah, they did have 5 hits yesterday, scored 2 runs. The Gulls also had 5 hits. Only run of their day was a Scott Holzwasser solo shot in the 4th to open up the scoring between both sides before the Sharks answered in the bottom of the 4th, and then adding that go-ahead and eventual winning run in the bottom of the 5th. But as you said, Ketchie and Spinelli were the stories of the day, the pitching staff for the Sharks. On the other end, the Gulls had Dylan Brown out there on the mound facing the Sharks for the 2nd time on this season. He went 3+ innings, gave up just 1 run off of 3 hits and 3 walks, including 4 strikeouts. But it was a pivotal point in that game. Runners on 1st and 2nd with no outs. A run already scored to tie it up, and the Gulls went to the bullpen. Garrett Schmeltz came in. He threw 5 innings for the Gulls out of the pen, gave up just 2 hits and 2 walks off of 6 strikeouts, but also gave up 1 eventual run, and that was the difference in yesterday's game. So should be a good one here tonight, as you said, here at Cardines. Sharks trying to win the series and clinch a spot into the NECBL championship, but it's a tough place to go with this big atmosphere and to win on the road.
Yeah, and for the Sharks, this will be their first ever NECBL playoff game on the road, and I'm expecting a charged up Cardines Field atmosphere. We had a good crowd last night, but Newport is one of the biggest drawers in the league. This is going to be a home crowd for Newport, to say the least. And let's see what the Sharks can do. Let's see if they can come and win a game. You know, the Sharks are the new kids on the block, and Newport, frankly, is an established part of this league. You know, I heard Jay Mendez before the game, Sharks manager, say it really well. You know, they're not gonna let you walk into their ballpark, this historic ballpark, and walk all over them. You know, you're going to have to play hard and do everything right to beat this Gulls team, particularly here in Newport.
And that's what makes this so intriguing, this matchup, because it is the new team on the block, their first year in the NECBL, facing off against might be the biggest dynasty in the NECBL, 6-time champs, the Newport Gulls. And so it's just a tale of 2 sides, and the Sharks looking to win again here tonight. For the Gulls, I'm going to turn it over to Nick Bello. Backs against the walls, as we said. What are they going to have to do to come out on top tonight and force a Game 3 tomorrow?
Yeah, as you said, backs against the walls. I think the key for the Gulls here is get out to an early lead, get guys on base, and hopefully get those guys home and score a lot of runs right off the bat. In terms of pitching, though, you know, you want a good start from Justin Cherry, your starter tonight, and I mean, you want a lot of good bullpen work. Probably going to go with Sandstone later on in the game, so we'll see if the Gulls can capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah, it will be an interesting one, a good matchup. Again, you mentioned the crowd, Keith, and first game against the Mystic Schooners in the playoffs, it was the wild card game. Over 2,400 people came in to watch the game, and so that was a live atmosphere. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday at the Vineyard. These playoff games are a little bit tougher to get people into the crowd because you can't plan a sponsor, you can't plan ahead of time, and so you really just have to rely on the day or 2 days before, just social media, putting it out, telling your friends and family, trying to get as many people to the park.
Well, right, and it's also not, you know, on the Vineyard we have a lot of home rentals, and it would be fantastic for renters to do this, and many of them do, is they put magnetic schedules on the refrigerators, you know, maybe have some free tickets, and you can't really do any of that for the playoffs. And so, especially with fan bases like the Sharks in Newport, where a lot of them are tourists who aren't here year-round, it's tough to draw folks when it's not on the schedule, but Newport's done a great job. Sharks did a great job last night. I'm expecting a good crowd here tonight. If we have a Game 3 tomorrow, I'm sure we will also have a good crowd tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been great atmospheres for both of the Newport Gulls playoff games, the one at home against Mystic and then the one on the road against the Vineyard yesterday. And we, as Keith said, expect to see another big crowd here tonight at Cardines, amped up and ready to go. But I'm going to send it on over to Nick now. There's another game happening last night, and then, of course, that same game's going to happen tonight on the northern side.
Yeah, Valley lost to Keene last night, 11-10. Now that series is playing tonight at 6:30. They will be going back to Valley tonight in Holyoke.
So we're going to send it down to the field for the national anthem. More on the Northern Division matchup after this.
For those so tragically lost in the recent shootings in both El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, as well as those injured in those heinous attacks. Our thoughts and prayers are with these individuals, their families, and their communities. Thank you. Here with us to perform tonight's national anthem is Kellyanne Quirion. She's an employee at Gulls sponsor, the Newport Craft Brewing Company, and has worked in minor league baseball for the New Britain Breeze.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Kelly. Now let's get ready to play some baseball.
Tonight's national anthem was sung by Kellyanne Quirion of Newport Craft Brewing as we get set for the second game of the Southern Division Championship Series here at Cardines Field. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, Keith Chattonover, and the field reporter for the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. And Keith, of course, not a lot of scoring last night, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be high scoring tonight. Who's in that Vineyard lineup?
Well, it's going to sound awfully familiar. Matt Chamberlain leads things off, and then Nick Raposo. Jackson Raper hits third, and Alan Burnsett hits cleanup. Nander DeSatis bats fifth. Anthony Vedetto bats sixth, and then 7 through 9, Slavens, Spiegel, and Shapiro. The only change, Spiegel now the DH in replacement of Nell, who's off the bench tonight. Interesting to note that if, let's say, Raposo somehow gets injured or needs to come out of the game, Spiegel would have to go behind the plate, and the Sharks would have to relinquish their DH. The Sharks have done that before this year, have put Raposo and Spiegel both in the lineup. But it's a risk, particularly in the playoffs, where you don't want to have a pitcher hit 1 out of every 9 times. But I mean, I agree with the move. I think Spiegel's a better bat than Nell, and in a pivotal game, you want the best bats available. You'll cross that bridge, a hypothetical, when you come to it. So Nell on the bench, and then you also have Studley available off the bench. In addition, we saw Nate Tellier take ground balls at second tonight. He is he plays both in the lineup and pitches at UMass Dartmouth, so he's available off the bench according to the lineup card, as is Chris Steffel, who we've seen take a couple of swings this year. So Jay Mendez trying to stretch that bench as best he can.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys come into play tonight. Now on the rubber for the Gulls, it will be Justin Cherry, the righty out of University of Rhode Island. Through 8 appearances, he has a 4.30 ERA, and in 37 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 26 runs, just 18 of them earned off of 47 hits and 18 walks. He has 35 strikeouts in those 37 2/3 innings pitched. As for the Gulls lineup, similar to yesterday's lineup against the Vineyard, it'll be Scott Holzwasser, the Northeastern shortstop, leading things off, followed by Greg Cavalieri, University of Rhode Island center fielder. Chris Hamilton bats third. He's playing first base tonight. Batting cleanup is Justin Henry Malloy, the Vanderbilt designated hitter. Batting fifth is Colton Bender, the Quinnipiac catcher. After him is Hayden Jones of Mississippi State. He'll be playing third base tonight for Newport. Batting seventh is Joey Bellini, the Cincinnati second baseman. Following him is Brett Vosick. He's in left field tonight, while rounding out the order is Isaiah Thomas, the Vanderbilt right fielder. And, of course, for the Vineyard, looks to be Daniel Hegarty on the mound today.
Yeah, Hagerty is a quick worker. He has a 5.50 ERA, 30 Ks in 36 innings pitched, only 6 walks, so he's not going to walk a ton of guys. Like I said, he works very quickly, is a broadcaster's dream. Gives up his fair few hits, similar in a lot of ways, frankly, to Brian Ketchy. Throws a little bit harder, but should be a good test for him against a good Newport lineup. He'll need to keep the Sharks in it just like Ketchy did last night.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup for tonight's game. Looking at the weather for first pitch, sunny 73 degrees here in Newport. Beautiful day for some baseball. 74% humidity with a 9-mile-per-hour wind coming out of the south. And yesterday it cooled off a little bit out there in the Vineyard when the rain came through. It's still a little humid. Much better day for baseball, much more comfortable day for baseball.
Yeah, this is one of the nicest days we've had in weeks in the NECBL in terms of the feels like metric being down. It's really comfortable. Yeah, this is one of the nicest days we've had to play a ball game in quite a while.
And that's a perfect way to start this second game of the Southern Division Championship Series as we take a look at the Gulls' defense and how they align tonight. Going from left to right in the outfield, Brett Vosick, Greg Cavalieri, and Isaiah Thomas. In the infield, Hayden Jones, Scott Holzwasser, Joey Bellini, and Chris Hamilton, while Colton Bender is taking care of the duties behind the dish. And as we said, Justin Cherry on the mound, fastball, slider, changeup pitcher in Cherry's. He gets set to face off against the top of the Vineyard lineup. Again, yesterday ended 2-1, and so not a high-scoring affair for either side, but it might change tonight. Or we might, we've got Justin Cherry on the mound and Hagerty, who both, when they're on, hard to hit. It's just depending on which side of those pitchers we see. But, Nick, I know we talked about the Northern Division matchup last night. What's happening tonight? When are they playing?
Yeah, so they get off at around 6:30 p.m. So right about now when they will be starting. According to the NECBL website, this is kind of funny. We're supposed to be getting underway at 5:45 tonight. Guess that's not true.
I was told 6:30.
Yeah.
As was everyone else. But we are getting set for first pitch here at Cardines. Be Cherry facing off against Matt Chamberlain, the left-handed center fielder from the University of New Haven. Cherry is going to be out of the windup to start. And the first offering, fastball in there for strike one.
Cherry throws hard.
Yeah, that fastball is low 90s for Cherry, and he has a good slider and straight change to go with it. There is the straight change, and it drops beneath the bat of Chamberlain, catching him out on his front foot, and it's quickly 0-2.
Chamberlain, Raposo, and Raper due up for the Sharks, looking to finish off the sweep of the Gulls.
This 0-2 offering, fastball skips to the plate, 1-2.
Bender had to deal with a massive cloud of chalk that flared up.
Always happens on the first one when it hits the chalk, and Bender took the worst of it. He's now on the 1-2. Fastball misses up 2-2, but expect to see Cherry sequence that fastball and changeup well. Also has the slider to go with it that he'll throw in, but the fastball and changeup can be so deceiving. This 2-2 offering going to be grounded right back up to Cherry. Past him, Holzwasser has it behind the bag. Throw to first is in time for out number one.
Nice play by Holzwasser, ranging far to his left to get that ball and then throwing out the speedy Chamberlain. Good start for the Gulls. One away. Nick Raposo coming up, the Wheaton College product.
Holzwasser took a great angle to that ball. Had to go out into the grass in shallow center. Was able to get his feet around it and get there. And then make the throw to first. So that will bring up now Nick Raposo. First offering fastball outside for ball one.
Even though this is Holzwasser's, he doesn't really play shortstop. He's more of a second baseman. Very few balls are going to get past him.
This 1-0 pitch. Another fastball misses outside 2-0. And I think that's what's so special about this position between these two teams. Scott Holzwasser has proven to be one of the best in the NECBL defensively. And then you have Nander DeSatis on the other side, who might be the best in the NECBL at shortstop. Is that 2-0 pitch, fastball missing low, 3-0. DeSatis, we talked about yesterday, such quick hands, such quick feet. And we saw him turn a crucial double play, making a play behind the bag on a line drive from Justin Henry Malloy yesterday on that 3-0 pitch, fastball in there for strike one, but it was bases loaded, one away. Malloy hit a line drive up the middle. DeSatis got there and then was able to flip to second to end the inning. Is this 3-1 pitch going to be tipped foul? 3-2.
Yeah, DeSatis' glove is certainly, I think, a strength of his game. Good battle here from Cherry. He was down 3-0 on Raposo. The count's now full. 3-2.
Raposo yesterday 0 for 3, but did work a walk. Now on this payoff pitch, going to be lined over towards the third base side, and Hayden Jones making a leaping play to retire Raposo, and there's 2 away here in the first.
Well, 2 sparkling plays from the Newport left side of the infield. First, it was Holzwasser, and now Jones. Jones lunging to his left, just like Holzwasser had to move to his left. Nice play by Jones. And the Sharks could have easily had 2 hits. Instead, 2 outs, nobody on.
Now that does bring up Jackson Raper. First pitch fastball up and away for ball 1. But how about that, Nick? He said Holzwasser is not a natural shortstop. Hayden Jones is a catcher, and he's making that play.
Yeah, I was just about to add that. Great play by him.
That 1-0 pitch misses up 2-0.
And I think that's probably one of the best things about this Newport lineup is how versatile they are in the field. You can put any of these guys anywhere in the field, and they will have a lot of success.
This 2-0 offering. Fastball in there. 2-1. Yeah, we've seen Jones play third. We've seen him play first. Hamilton, who's at first today, was in the outfield yesterday. Everyone's kind of moving around. Bender behind the plate played second base earlier in the season as that 2-1 change swung on and missed at the bottom half of the zone. 2-2. Everyone's kind of moving around, though, in the Gulls defense, and it's still making plays.
Yeah, and it's good for them, too, to get this exposure in a lot of different positions.
So this 2-2 offering, slider misses up, 3-2.
You know, it really builds onto their resume. They can say, I've played here, here, and here before, not just I've played this one position, I'm going to play that one position. That's it.
Now on this 3-2 offering, fastball going to be chopped softly over towards the second base side. Cherry snags it off the mound, steps on the bag himself, and that will end things here in the top half of the first. No run score off of no hits, no errors, no walks, as the Vineyard goes down in order, heading into the bottom half of the first. Still 0-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the first, still scoreless here at Cardines. And it looks like it's Daniel Hagerty out there on the mound for the Vineyard.
It is Hagerty indeed. This will be his 7th start. 36 innings under his belt. He has pitched to a 5.50 ERA. The Southpaw has his biggest test of the year. A Newport Gulls team on the verge of elimination, so you know they're going to be on top of things, trying to avoid the brooms. Let's see how the Gulls fare.
He will face off against the leadoff man, Scott Holzwasser, in the Newport lineup, who watches this first pitch breaking ball miss up for ball 1. On the 1-0, there's the fastball in there for strike 1. Holzwasser comes into this one second on the Newport team in average. So tied for second in the team in doubles, as this one's going to be chopped over Hagerty at second. Throw over from Slavens is in time for out number 1. So with 1 away, that will bring up Greg Cavalieri, who leads the team in average.
For the Sharks, they have Vedetto at first, Slavens at second, Raper at third, and DeSatis at short, and then left to right in the outfield, Shapiro, Chamberlain, and then Burnside.
So this one's going to be grounded over to DeSatis at short. He fields and throws to first, but it's a bad throw down the line, and Greg Cavalieri is aboard with the first hit of the day for either side.
Wasn't hit all that well, but in an absolute perfect spot. DeSatis didn't get a lot on that throw. I'm not sure if he would have been better off to plant and throw. I think too much speed from Cavalieri.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point there. It's just too much speed from Cavalieri, and so DeSatis was forced to rush it, and might have not had a complete grip on the ball. That's why it slipped out and was an uncharacteristic throw from him. But that will bring up Chris Hamilton in the lineup for Newport. Lefty on lefty matchup. First offering going to be chopped over to Slavens at second. He fields, kind of stumbles, and only plays at first. He's able to retire Hamilton, but Cavalieri does move up into scoring position on the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure that without the stumble, Slavens would have gone to second. I think he was going to first all the way.
It would have had to have been a really quick turn.
Yes, and then the stumble took that out of the equation entirely. So Cavalieri at second, 2 4-3 putouts that produced the first 2 outs for Hagerty. Now has to deal with Justin Henry Malloy.
Smart play, though, from Slavens, not trying to force the throw after stumbling. And able to get 1 as that first pitch breaking ball misses outside for ball 1.
Yeah, it looked to me like the play to second wasn't even a thought in his mind. He knew to go to first. Smart play.
This one's a lefty on righty matchup for Hagerty on the mound. Looking over at Cavalieri at second, working out of the stretch on the 1-0. Off speed, misses outside, 2-0.
Haven't seen that outside corner be called for either pitcher so far. We're a little bit offset, but we get a good idea of where the pitches are. That's a strike with some umpires, but not with this home plate umpire.
Malloy was 0 for 4 yesterday, struck out swinging in his last at-bat as he watches this 2-0 fastball miss up and away, 3-0.
This has some markings of a pitch around with Malloy, I think the most dangerous hitter in the Gulls lineup. You got a free base at first with 2 outs. You got Bender on deck. I wouldn't be shocked if Malloy does not see a pitch to hit in this at-bat.
It's now on the 3-0. Breaking ball misses outside for ball 4, so it might have been a pitch around. And Malloy's aboard first with the first walk of the day from Hagerty.
Yeah, it just seemed like Hagerty wanted no part of Malloy. Now Colton Bender, the catcher.
Bender comes into this one hitting .334 for the Gulls, leads the team in doubles with 13. And he has a chance to open the scoring between both sides with Cavalieri on second and Justin Henry Malloy on first here in the bottom of the first with 2 away. Hagerty looking at Cavalieri now on the first offering, pitch missing outside, and you're going to see Raposo trot on out to the mound to talk to Hagerty, who's now thrown 5 straight balls.
Yeah, so maybe those 4 that were out of the zone to Malloy weren't on purpose, because I don't think there'd be so much urgency from Raposo if they were supposed to be for balls. So 5 in a row, like you said, out of the zone. 1-0 the count on Bender. Hayden Jones is out on deck. Newport rocking those alternate uniforms, the orange uniforms.
Yeah, usually they only rock them on Friday, but they're going for a little bit of mojo here, trying to get some momentum built. So they're breaking out the oranges here today. As stepping off on the mound is Hagerty to watch Cavalieri back to second.
The Mets have, jeez, it's a faux pas. The Sharks have no consistency with their uniforms. It's whatever the starter wants.
Now this 1-0 offering, another pitch missed outside, and Raposo fake throws down to first. Everyone is back at their bases safely. And that's interesting. So they just leave it up to the pitchers. Let them go
the starters get complete autonomy on that one.
So Hagerty picked the purple tops today, white pants, black caps. It's this 2-0 pitch, fastball just missing up, 3-0.
It's a close pitch, and seems like Hagerty's not going to get that all night. So does Bender have the green light, 3-0?
I'd say no, because there's 7 straight balls, so I think they're going to have the hold sign on and just force Hagerty to throw some strikes before they're going to start pulling the trigger at the plate. Now Hagerty on that 3-0. Get me over, fastball in there for strike 1. This might be where you start seeing the green light from the Gulls. It's your traditional 3-1 count. And with runner in scoring position, I wouldn't be surprised if Bender is aggressive at the plate. As this 3-1, he does swing, and he pokes it through Vedetto and Slavens at first and second into right field. They're going to hold up Cavalieri at third, and the bases are now loaded for Hayden Jones.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you figure that Cavalieri is going to be sent, but Bender hit that ball so darn hard. And with that short fence in right, Burnshead playing in anyway because, frankly, there's not that much more room to play back. No shot for Cavalieri to score. Wasn't a great throw. Vedetto cut it off. I think if Cavalieri had been sent, it would have been relatively close at home, but now Hayden Jones gets the chance with the bases full of goals.
Bases are loaded for Hayden Jones. Lefty on lefty matchup for Hagerty. First offering. Fastball misses outside for ball 1.
And Hayden Jones is definitely a guy you don't want to play with. He has a lot of power in his bat, and he can really punish you.
Now on the 1-0. Fastball going to be chopped over to DeSatis at short, and it bounces off the top of his glove. One will score for the Gulls. They're going to send Malloy around third. The play at the plate is in time. So only one crosses for the Gulls as Malloy was tagged out on the play. As heading into the second, Newport is on top, 1-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the second, Newport leads 1-0 here at Cardine. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, Keith Chattonover, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. As it will be the 4-5-6 hitters due up for the Vineyard.
Yeah, a 1-0 Newport lead on an unearned run. Jones hit a chopper to the left side. DeSatis was just completely unsure about whether to charge or to back up on it. Tried to back up on it, had to go off the tip of his glove. The error allows Cavalieri to score. Malloy is out on the 8-2 putout, but you have to charge an error because should have been the end of the inning. No run should have scored. 1-0 Newport here for Burnstead, the batter.
Alan Burnstead is at the dish for the Vineyard. First offering from Cherry, changeup missing low for ball one. Burnstead batting cleanup again tonight for the Sharks. Last night was 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch twice in a row for him. His last two at bats as he watches this 1-0 pitch miss low for ball two.
Cherry's been behind consistently here. He was behind Raposo and Raper.
Now this 2-0 offering. Fastball going to be offered at and popped out of play along the right field side. 2-1.
And although he's been behind in most of these counts, he has really done a great job battling back and getting guys out.
So on this 2-1, another changeup swung on and missed. Tipped into the glove of Bender, but it's good for strike number 2. 2-2 now to Burnstead, and you're right, Cherry is battling back, and now on the 2-2 offering, another changeup swung on and missed. Bender picks it up and throws to first to complete the strikeout for out number 1 here in the second.
First K for either side tonight. Nander DeSatis now will be the batter looking to redeem himself for that error. Let's see what Nander can do. Hitting .244 on the season. By the way, any stats I give tonight, they include the game last night and the regular season.
As that first pitch fastball misses outside, 1-0.
Because now when you log on to the NECBL website, it has regular season and postseason. It's very fancy.
Oh, does it?
Oh, yes.
It's on the 1-0 pitch. Fastball in there at the knees, 1-1.
But I've combined them because we've had one postseason game.
Yeah, so it's easier to do that math.
Exactly.
Just wait till one of these teams are going to get to the championship. It might not be as easy then. You're going to have to put in a little bit of work there as that 1-1 pitch off speed swung at and missed above the zone, 1-2.
Well, they have, the season totals for each. They count the postseason as a separate. Then they have a grand total list, and that's where you can take it off of. They do try to make it easy on us broadcasters.
On the 1-2 offering, another fastball swung on and missed above the zone. Second strikeout on the day for Cherry, second strikeout in a row here in the second.
Yeah, Cherry's looked good here in the second. His defense helped him out in the first, but so far it's been all Justin Cherry, and now Vedetta will be the batter. So far, Newport just looks like the crisper team.
Vedetto is at the plate with 2 away. He's going to pop this one up towards the right field side and out of play, 0-1. Righty on righty matchup for Justin Cherry. He's working out of the windup quickly from the first base side of the rubber on the 0-1. Tipped into the glove and out of the glove of Bender, 0-2.
Not sure if we'll see Cherry kind of play with him a little bit right now as he worked an 0-2 count.
He certainly could. He's been attacking guys all the way straight away tonight, but you're right, with the 0-2 count, you do have some pitches to play with as this 0-2 offering goes outside with a fastball and can't get Vedetto to chase, so it's 1-2.
Yeah, it looks like he decided to play with, so we'll see what he comes back with right here.
On the 1-2 now. Cherry delivers, going to be grounded over to Jones at third. He backhands it and he can't come away with it. It's going to pop over him. And they're going to rule that an E5. So first error of the day for Newport puts a runner on first for the Sharks.
Yeah, we were not entirely sure about that up here in the press box. You know, on one hand, Jones is not a third baseman by trade, but he's also playing third, so you can't really give him that. And he did make that sparkling play in the first. If you ask Jones, he'd say he needs to make that play.
That brings up Brady Slavens now, who swings at this first pitch. Vosick is moving to his right and left, and he's there for out number 3. So no runs crossed in the second, despite a Newport error. Heading into the bottom half of the second, Newport still leads 1-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
We are back here at Cardines Field for the bottom of the second. For the Gulls, it will be Bellini, Vosick, and Thomas, the bottom third, against Daniel Hagerty, who surrendered an unearned run in the first. Bellini, his first task of the second, and Bellini takes outside 1-0.
Yeah, that last inning for Newport on the offensive side
1-1.
was what you needed to really get into this game. You know, get guys on base and score some runs right off the bat.
That ball's lined, just foul down the right side. The count is 1-2. The pitch from the southpaw Hagerty is lined again, just foul near the first base coach. Still 1-2 on Bellini. It's 1-0 Newport here in the second at Cardines Field. The 1-2 is at the knee. Strike 3 call. Bellini is down looking. First strikeout for Hagerty. 1 away in the second.
Yeah, just a great pitch by Hagerty right there. Pitch low and outside. Very tough to swing at for Bellini. And he goes down swinging, goes down looking.
Brett Vosick, the second batter for Hagerty. He grounds one to the left side and unable to get it between the glove and hand is Raper. That's going to be ruled a hit for Vosick. But Raper just unable to complete the transfer. And that is the third hit for the Gulls.
Yeah, definitely a tough play right there from the charging Raper. But nonetheless, a play you have to make at this level of baseball. And Newport is one on with one down.
Isaiah Thomas, the batter, he takes just low and just outside, 1-0. Holzwasser is out on deck. The 1-0 chops slowly. This is going to be a tough play. Raper is going to just have it go right under his hand. It would have been a hit anyway. And with two softly struck balls, the Gulls have 2 men on with 1 out, and Scott Holzwasser coming up.
Yeah, definitely a tough play right there again for Raper. And the Gulls get another guy on base, first and second now. But kind of a good, strategy right here, just trying to get some wood on the ball and trying to get some guys on base.
Holzwasser, the batter now for the Gulls. He grounded out his first time. He takes low and in. It's going to scoot away from Raposo. And even with that short backstop down to third goes Vosick, and Thomas is down to second base. Holzwasser was responsible for the Gulls' only run last night, a solo shot deep into the center field sky. Newport threatening here in the second. Second and third, 1 out. That's a wild pitch charged to Hagerty. 2-0 now on Holzwasser. Cavalieri is next. He singled and scored in the first, so this inning not getting any easier for Hagerty. 2-0 is low and outside. 3-0 now. You do have an open base. You might think of pitching around Holzwasser to load him up for Cavalieri.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough strategy, though, if you're Martha's Vineyard.
3-0, that misses for ball 4, and the Gulls have the bases loaded. And Greg Cavalieri coming up. And Nick Raposo and the Sharks pitching coach Mac Curran will convene at the mound with Hagerty. This inning began with a strikeout of Bellini, but then a softly hit single for Vosick that Raper was unable to come up with. And then Isaiah Thomas, a similar hit down the left field line that Raper had no chance to throw him out on. And now a walk for Holzwasser. So Newport hasn't done much of anything with their bats in the inning, but they have 2 hits and the bases loaded with orange-shirted Gulls and Greg Cavalieri coming up.
No, and in fact, the Gulls have only left the infield really twice in this game, and that came off Colton Bender. And actually, Colton Bender and Hayden Jones were the only 2 guys to really get the ball out of the infield for the Gulls.
And Jones only did it because DeSatis was unable to stop it from going to the outfield.
Exactly, got a little assist there by DeSatis.
That ball's shot foul. 0-1 on Cavalieri.
So if you're looking from this game from a stat standpoint, you know, if you haven't watched the game at all, it looks like the Gulls just bunted guys on.
The 0-1 is low and outside, 1-1. As promised, a good crowd on hand here at Cardines Field, and they're making noise for their goals. The 1-1 to Cavalieri, fouled right back to the chain link fence directly in front of the press box. 1-2, that's why they invented chain link fence, folks.
Yeah, that one will have been coming right at my head, folks. So thank God for the chain link fence right in front of me. I actually kind of flinched on that one, in fact.
The 1-2, grounded to the left side. DeSatis has it. It's only placed to third, but not covering his Raper. Everybody's safe. And a run scores. It's 2-0 Newport. The bases remain loaded with Chris Hamilton coming up. That's going to be a hit and an RBI for Cavalieri. But again, you would hope that Raper was going to cover there. It was hit in the hole, and you think that Raper thought that maybe he was the best one to get that ball, but as soon as he knows he can't get it, he's got to scramble back. It's 2-0 Newport. The bases remain loaded. Chris Hamilton, the batter. This inning could quickly get out of hand for the Sharks. It's 0-1 on Hamilton.
Yeah, definitely some very tough plays so far for the left side of infield for Martha's Vineyard. You know, that play right there, you have to make a split-second decision.
Weekly tapped foul, 0-2. Hagerty has induced pretty weak contact, but Newport is so far in control, and they just look just a tad bit crisper than the Sharks do so far here today. The 0-2, low and outside. Nice scoot to stop it from Raposo. 1-2.
Yeah, Newport on the defensive side has been very good tonight, minus that one blemish by Hayden Jones last inning.
Still 1-2 on Hamilton.
And what a good at-bat right here from Chris Hamilton. You know, really fighting and really trying to get on base so we can score some more runs here for the Gulls.
Justin Henry Malloy looms on deck. The 1-2 flied high in the air, pretty shallow left. Shapiro towards the line. He's going to make the catch, and they're going to try it at home. That throw is up the line on the third base side of home. Scoring is Isaiah Thomas. It is 3-0 Newport as Thomas tried it and succeeded off of a relatively weak throw from Shapiro. It's 3-0 Gulls.
Yeah, definitely a smart play right there by Isaiah Thomas. He kind of looked like he wasn't going to go. And then in a split second, he's taking off for home. Good base running there by the Newport Gulls.
And everyone advances, so Holzwasser at third and Cavalieri at second, and Justin Henry Malloy coming up. Malloy walked and then was thrown out trying to score off of the DeSatis error. He was erased on an 8-2 putout. Gulls 3, Sharks nothing. Last of the second. The 1-0. Slashed foul off the chain link in front of the Newport dugout. So chain link coming in handy here so far in this second inning. An inning that has seen the Gulls hit 3 singles, none of them very hard. The 1-1 is taken for a strike. It scoots away from Raposo, who botched that one, but no advancement from Holzwasser or Cavalieri. It's 1-2.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the strategy right here from Martha's Vineyard. As Justin Henry Malloy is very good at working a walk. You don't want to just pitch around this guy, and you don't want to pitch to him. So they're in a tough position here with a 1-2 count on Malloy.
Swing and a miss. Malloy is down on strikes. Second strikeout for Hagerty. Both came here in the second, but the damage was done. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 2 men left. At the end of 2, it's the Gulls by 3 on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Top of the third, 3-0 Gulls on top of the Sharks. As it will be the 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Vineyard, trying to score the first runs of the day for the Sharks. Justin Cherry out there for his 3rd inning of work. Tonight's starter on the mound for Newport, trying to hold on to that early 3-0 lead. Stephen Huff back with Keith Chattenover, the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, and Nick Bello, the field reporter for the Newport Gulls. This first pitch fastball misses low, 1-0. Spiegel, of course, has faced the Gulls before, but this is his first time playing against Newport in the playoffs. He was rested yesterday as that 1-0 pitch misses low, 2-0. And you said you like the move with him coming in, even though it's a little bit risky. If some things happen later on, you have to switch some things around, but you like Spiegel in over Nell.
Yeah, I think Spiegel's the better bat.
This 2-0 pitch misses inside. Another fastball from Cherry, 3-0.
And Nell had a tough night last night. He was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, so Mendez looking for some production out of that 8th spot.
Let's look at this 3-0 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed at the letters, 3-1.
No score up there in Holyoke, Mass.
Cherry now on the 3-1. Changeup going to be cut on and fouled down the line at third. 3-2.
And we're seeing it once again with Justin Cherry. Getting down a 3-0 count. He's really working his way back. Now 3-2.
Cherry is looking on the payoff pitch. Changeup got him looking at the top edge of the zone. 4-3. There's one away here in the third after that 3rd strikeout of the day for Cherry.
Cherry has been a master of working from behind in the count. He's been behind to, I'd say, about half of the Sharks so far, and the Sharks don't yet have a hit. He has kept them off balance even when they're ahead in the count.
This is similar to the start that we saw yesterday from Ketchy. That first pitch fastball's in there for strike 1. Ketchy, in the first 9 batters he faced, retired them all before the first goal reached on an error. And then, or actually no, it's a Scott Holzwasser home run that opened up the hitting and scoring for the Gulls as that pitched miss inside. 1-1, another fastball low, 2-1 now to Shapiro. There has been a base runner to reach already for the Vineyard, but it was on an error in the second. So not Cherry's fault, who's looking excellent out there so far. So righty on lefty matchup for Cherry on the mound on the 2-1 fastball over the heart of the plate, count now even at 2. And Nick, you were the first to point it out, but this is another example of him battling back in counts. As this 2-2 pitch going to be driven into the right center gap. Thomas and Cavalieri giving chase, and it's going to be off of the wall in center. Cavalieri has it, throws into second, but not in time. So the first hit of the day for the Sharks is a 1-out double here in the top of the third.
Yeah, Shapiro hit that ball very well. He's mostly a singles guy, does have 1 home run on the year, but he tagged that ball to right center. If Cavalieri had played that ball perfectly off the wall, might have been a little closer at second with that pretty close in right center field fence, but as soon as that ball scooted just a little bit, easy double for Shapiro. Sharks really could use a run here. The momentum here going all the Gulls' way. They need to bring in Shapiro.
And Matt Chamberlain will look to drive in Shapiro. Leadoff man in the top of the lineup for the Sharks. Watches this first pitch miss outside for ball 1. First time up for Chamberlain. He had that ground ball past Cherry up the middle and behind the bag, but Scott Holzwasser made the play in shallow center. As this 1-0 offering. Changeup swung on and missed, putting Chamberlain down to nearly his back knee, and it's 1-1. And Nick, I think we were talking to Greg Zackerson about this, the pitching coach for the Gulls last time Cherry was on the mound. Is this one's going to be driven into right? If it's fair, that will be extra bases, and it is. That will be at least a double for Chamberlain. They're going to send Shapiro around third, and he will score, and it is 3-1.
Big hit for Chamberlain, so back-to-back doubles, and all of a sudden the Sharks have cut that lead back to 2, and Raposo comes up as the potential tying run. This game appeared to be going all in the Gulls' direction, and those are 2 big hits for this Vineyard team as Chamberlain just tucked it in fair down that right side near that warehouse. Big 2 hits for the Sharks. They have scored for the first time. Nick Raposo coming up.
That is back-to-back doubles with Nick Raposo up, but Nick Bello, I know we were talking to Greg Zackerson talking about Justin Cherry and how he has that intestinal fortitude, just the will to persevere when things are going right or wrong. So that first pitch fastball is in there to Raposo, strike 1. But you almost feel like this is the moment where that intestinal fortitude comes to fruition, and he's able to hunker down and battle through this and hopefully get the goals out of the inning if you're Justin Cherry.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one pitch swung on and missed, 0-2.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, you got a guy on second, 1 out, and you've already allowed 2 outs. You've already allowed 1 run. You definitely have to battle back here, and as you said, that intestinal fortitude is going to show right here for Justin Cherry.
It's Cherry on the 0-2 now, going to be popped back up into the screen. Count remains.
And you can almost see like a different strategy here from Justin Cherry. Really going right at Raposo as he just fouled away the 3rd pitch, but he's already thrown 3 strikes.
Cherry is looking on. Now down to Bender behind the plate for the Gulls. On the 0-2. Pitch misses up and in, 1-2. And it's really the 3, 4, 5 hitters that did the damage yesterday for the Sharks. Jackson Raper, who's on deck, doubled his first time up, also singled, and later came around to score that winning run. As this one's going to be blasted into left. That's over the head of Vosick and off the wall. That will score another for the Vineyard. And it's back-to-back-to-back doubles for the Sharks.
Yeah, and Raposo probably would have had a home run at most older ballparks. That is by far the deepest part of this stadium. And the fence is still way up there, and he hit it pretty well up that fence. So the Sharks, like you said, 3 straight doubles on a good swing from Raposo, as you saw on the replay. It's now a 3-2 ball game, still only 1 out, and the Sharks have the boppers, Raper and Burnstead, coming up.
Yeah, and there's a meeting on the mound between Chris Hamilton, the first baseman for the Gulls, Colton Bender, the catcher, and Justin Cherry at the rubber. We talked about Raper as the guy that is one of the better hitters in this lineup for the Vineyard on the season, but also yesterday with that double and single and a run scored. And he had Burnstead, who reached base safely twice, and Nander DeSatis, who's batting 6th, who worked a walk and scored, and then had that RBI double. So he was a part of both of the runs yesterday for the Vineyard. And they're all set to have at-bats in this inning. So that first pitch to Raper misses outside, 1-0. Righty on lefty matchup for Justin Cherry on the mound. It's on the 1-0. Fastball cut on and flown back into the screen. 1-1. Raposo on second after his RBI double, following the RBI double from Chamberlain. As he looks over at Raposo, now delivers the 1-1 breaking ball. Going to be bopped up towards the Gulls bullpen and out of play.
Yeah, definitely be interesting to see what Cherry does here. 1-2 count, very allowed 2 runs in the inning. Might as well just go right after Jackson Raper right here.
As Cherry out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber on the 1-2. Another breaking ball going to be chopped over to Hamilton at first. He fields and throws to Cherry, covering the bag for the second out here in the third. But moving up 90 feet is Raposo, and he's 90 feet now from tying this ball game up.
Alan Burnstead struck out his first time. He has a big chance here with Raposo at third. He has been a great 2-out hitter for this Shark squad. Looking to continue that.
So it's a righty-on-righty matchup for Cherry on the mound. First offering to Burnstead. Pitch drops into the zone for strike one. And I was out there watching batting practice with hitting coach Jim Sorrow for the Newport Gulls, and we watched Alan Burnstead, and he was crushing every ball to dead away center, and a lot of them ended up over. And so he's a guy that you don't want to put a pitch over the plate because he has a lot of power. As that 0-1 fastball missed low and away, 1-1.
Well, he leads the team with 9 homers, and yeah, when he puts a good swing on a ball, you can kiss it goodbye right off the bat.
He's an above 300 hitter, leads the team in home runs and doubles. This 1-1 pitch, slider misses outside, 2-1. Three to 2 your score. Newport on top of the Vineyard here in the top of the third. 2 away for the Sharks at the plate. Now on the 2-1 offering, fastball misses beneath the zone, 3-1. We've talked about it before, but this is just a dangerous situation. We talked about how good Burnstead is at the plate. Is this another pitch out situation, pitch around him, or do you challenge him here?
I'd pitch around him to get to DeSatis.
It's on the 3-1. Cherry, fastball misses low, and it's going to skip past all the way back to the backstop. Cherry covering the plate. The throw there is in time to catch Raposo, trying to take advantage of the wild pitch. But Cherry was able to cover the bag and retire him for out number 3. So 2-run score for the Sharks in the top of the third off of 3 triples. Heading into the home half of the third, it's 3-2 Newport here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third, 3-2 Gulls on top of the Sharks. Stephen Huff alongside Keith Chattonover, the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. And Nick, there's that game going on in the north. Keene won last night in dramatic fashion. What's happening early on in that battle at Holyoke?
Yeah, that game started around the same time we got underway here. We're told no score just a little while ago, and I think it's still going to be the same thing.
It is.
Yeah, it's still no score.
So still no score, and it was a high scoring affair last night. Of course, Keith and I were keeping our eyes on it. Is this first pitch breaking ball going to be chopped down the third base line and left of the bag and foul? Colton Bender now down 0-1 in the count.
Yeah, no score in that game, bottom of the third. Keene had second and third, 1 out in the top half of the third, but were unable to score. You got to take advantage of those opportunities when you get them.
Well, and how about that finish, though? I mean, Keene was down by 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth. They load the bases back-to-back.
On 2 hit-by pitches.
And then a walk. So this 0-1 pitch, fastball misses outside, 1-1. But then 2 consecutive wild pitches, scores runs for Keene. And then they were able to plate another to tie it up and then eventually get the walk-off in the 10th inning, as that one's going to be chopped over towards the dugouts, 1-2.
Yeah, I believe they didn't have a hit in that ninth.
They might not have.
And it didn't matter.
But it worked out for them. So Keene took advantage of the first game in the series, as that pitch is going to be swung on and missed, dropping beneath Bender's bat for strike 3. Third strikeout of the day for Hagerty on the mound, and there's 1 away here in the third.
Yeah, and 2 straight Ks for Hagerty. First of Malloy and now by Bender. Those are 2 good bats in this lineup.
Yeah, those are guys that have a really good feel for the zone, and we talked about it with Colton Bender. 14 strikeouts on the season, and he's been playing so many games for the Gulls. So that just goes to show how talented he is at the plate, and to get a strikeout from him is a hard thing to do. That first pitch to Hayden Jones missed low and away, 1-0. Now on the 1-0, another fastball missing low, 2-0.
And to add on to your point, getting a strikeout against any one of these Newport Gulls guys is very hard to do. A lot of them can really work a walk.
This 2-0 pitch going to be chopped foul towards the dugouts, 2-1.
We are being visited by the Newport Gulls mascot.
This happened the other night, and it was good luck for the Gulls. They ended up winning that game, and so I think it bodes well
I see.
that he's back in, as this 2-1 pitch cut on and missed, 2-2. I'm getting a nice free back massage right here.
This is not bad.
Might as well. Oh, he's asking for money now.
I have to go to the chiropractor to get one of these.
This 2-2 cut on and missed. 4 strike 3, 3 straight strikeouts for Hagerty, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, 4 in the last 2 innings for Hagerty, and one of those 4 was Joey Bellini, and he will be the batter now with 2 outs and nobody on, looking for his first 1-2-3 inning as Hagerty. Heck, he's looking for his first inning to not when he hasn't given up a run.
Joey Bellini does settle in. First pitch misses up for ball 1. Now Nick and I are getting back massages, and I tell you what, I'm going to miss this. This pitch is going to be chopped foul, 1-1.
Yeah, we definitely get the royal treatment here in Newport, as Gully gives a very, very good back massage. You know, if I had to give him a rating, it'd have to be a 10.
This one pitch breaking ball drops into the zone, 1-2. I'll be honest, you know, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, am I a goalie or goalie junior guy, I would have said goalie junior. This pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. Hagerty strikes out the side to end the 3rd. But now with these back massages, I think I'm favoring goalie. But heading into the 4th, it is 3-2 Newport here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 4th, it's a 1-run ball game here at Cardine. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, Keith Chattonover, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. And since it's the 4th, I'm going to send it on over to my broadcast counterpart. Keith, take it away.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it. Fans at home, don't worry. We'll have Stephen back to you in just a few minutes. Nander DeSatis, Anthony Vedetto, and Brady Slavens due up for the Sharks, who seem to have taken some of the momentum back as DeSatis takes strike 1. They were down 3-0 after 2 innings, and those 3 consecutive doubles from first Shapiro, then Chamberlain, and finally Raposo seem to have changed things. And then the 3 strikeouts and 4 consecutive Ks for Hagerty. He looks to have settled in, and let's see if the Sharks can pull something together here. The 0-1 is popped up a mile high on the right side. Bellini was out, but he gives way to his right fielder Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas makes the catch, 1 away.
Yeah, and I think this is the inning that we're going to learn a lot about Justin Cherry. We've seen great performances from him. Even when he runs into trouble, he's able to battle back. That's the intestinal fortitude we were talking about. He has the moxie on the mound. You see the long hair. He's a guy that can go out there and get outs. But after giving up back-to-back doubles, you want to see him come out and work a quick inning, get comfortable on the mound, and get his bats back out there.
Yeah, and he doesn't look to be phased right now on the mound.
The 1-0 Vedetto is low. 2 balls and no strikes on the UMass product. He's a Mass kid through and through, Kingston, Mass, South Shore native. And now the UMass Amherst first baseman pops that one up a mile high behind Bender. Bender's back for a look, but that ball is into the stands. 2-1.
Everyone looks to be okay in the stands. A scary moment, though. The ball almost came. And it might have hit someone, actually. We might have to take a break. They're going to keep play on, though, for now.
2-2 as Vedetto cuts through a high fastball. I thought it was going to go back onto
the streets of Newport.
Right. Vedetto takes just outside, full count, 3-2.
And a lot of times that happens because we've talked about it before last week or so. Not a lot of room in the stands, but sometimes you can get a ball in that can be a little bit scary for some of the fans.
Swing and a miss. Vedetto is down on strikes. 3rd K for Cherry. 2 outs in the 4th.
And how about this outing for him? We talked about how this is a good bounce-back opportunity for him, and he's retired the first 2 in this inning. And you talked about Nick, how even keel he is on the mound. Even when maybe he's getting hit a little bit, doesn't get rattled. And that is so important because if you do get rattled and you don't have that short-term memory, then you are at risk of losing the ball game even more so the next time you come out.
Yeah, and that's something you really see with a lot of young pitchers is, they go out, they give up a couple of runs, and they start getting rattled. But this isn't the case with Justin Cherry, and that's what you'd like to see from the URI product.
The 0-1, Slavens takes up and away, 1-1.
And I think another guy you see that in is Dylan Brown out there. He's a competitor, but when it's going bad, he's competitive, but he doesn't get too upset. He likes to, be even keel out there, and it's exactly who he is in real life too. So it's no surprise, but that just creates good opportunities for these pitchers, and it's no surprise that those are 2 of the best pitchers for Newport this summer.
The 2-1 to Slavens. Good off speed. Looked like a change up from Cherry. 2-2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's going to do them, very, very well going forward in their careers. It shows a lot of maturity from them. If they're not blowing up when they give up runs.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Slavens is down. I said it was the third K for Cherry when Vedetto struck out. It was actually the fourth, and now Slavens becomes number 5. We are through 3.5. It's the Gulls by 1 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. You know what you haven't seen? Nothing yet for the Newport Gulls. It'll be 8-9-1. Brett Vosick, Isaiah Thomas, and Scott Holzwasser. I'm just playing off of what you're giving me, Steven. It's 0-1 on Brett Vosick, who singled and scored in the Newport second inning.
Well, I'll say this. That's, a lot of broadcasters that we've been in the booth with us haven't picked up on some of the songs that we're playing with, so I got to give you credit. 2 times in a row you've been here and you've been talking about the music I've been playing.
I enjoy it. I think it's a fun part of the broadcast. If I had the technology at the Shark Tank, I would do the same thing. I think it's a nice segue to what we're doing on the field. The 2-1, Vosick takes up 3-1.
Yeah, Keith, thank you for feeding Steven's ego for us tonight.
That's what I needed.
It needs some feeding.
Exactly what he needed.
He's one of the humblest guys we have here in the NECBL.
Oh, I know. That's why I made the joke.
That ball is grounded foul off the chain link fence that sits on top of the Gulls dugout.
It's you and Davis Ellington of North Adams that actually noticed some of the songs we play.
The 3-2 is lined, foul down the left field side.
And I tell you what, Davis came in here and he was ready for the more cowbell part of the broadcast. Not a lot of guys are, and so if you are later, then big ups to you, Keith.
3-2 is out of the zone, ball 4, and Vosick draws a walk. Raposo thought it was strike 3, but Vosick does draw a walk. That is the third walk issued by Hagerty, who came in having only issued 6 walks in 36 innings pitched. So he's usually about a walk and a half per 9 innings, which is about a walk per start in the NECBL, more or less. He's already issued 3, an ugly cut, and Thomas comes up empty, 0-1.
And I love the day that Vosick has been having. He's been one of the best hitters for the Gulls. He's hitting in the 8-hole tonight, working as maybe that guy that can mop up some of the guys in front of him, but also work as a table setter.
0-2 on Thomas.
And he already has a single today. He was that table setter, scored a run, and now he has a walk to lead off the 4th inning. That's his 21st walk on the season. Just an all-around good batter.
Line sharply, but right to Slavens. He will step on second, and he has all kinds of time to throw out Thomas. A 4-4-3 double play, and just like that, 2 outs, nobody on for the Gulls, and Scott Holzwasser coming up.
Yeah, good play there from Slavens. I mean, it was teetering towards the bag. He took it himself. Sometimes there's miscommunication between the second baseman and shortstop. Who's going to take it? Am I going to take it, or am I going to flip it to you? Slavens took control there, took it himself, and was able to throw to first for 2.
0-1 on Scott Holzwasser, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. 1-1. Greg Cavalieri would be next if Holzwasser keeps the inning going. That ball's lined off the cleat of Hagerty. It will bounce into shallow right field. Slavens runs it down, but way too late. Holzwasser has a hit. He would have had a hit anyway if that ball had gotten by Hagerty. So 6 of one or half dozen of the other, and Holzwasser has the 6th Newport Gulls hit.
And Hagerty was chuckling about it afterwards because he couldn't believe that just happened. It was a sharp ground ball right back up the middle. He just flailed his back foot out there trying to stop the ball, do something. Ended up kicking it away from Slavens, who was up the middle from second base, and it works out for the Gulls. It ended up in right field, and it's a 2-out single.
Cavalieri has 2 of those 6 hits, one of which drove home a run. He also has scored a run. He takes a strike from Hagerty.
And this is a great opportunity for the Gulls. I know it's 2 outs, and it's tough to get a rally going at that point, but you have a guy on, you have the guy at the plate who leads the team in average.
Cut on and missed. Quickly 0-2 on Cavalieri.
On top of that, as you said, Cavalieri 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of singles, but finds himself down in this count. He's going to have to grind out this at-bat a little bit.
It's a pitching duel up there at Mackenzie Stadium between Albright and Sweeney. 4 scoreless innings. That ball's lofted behind first. Going to be a tough play for Vedetto, and he will make the catch. And Newport is done in the 4th. A hit and 1 left. We will go to the 5th when we return on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We are back for the top of the 5th. We got Nick Bello on my right. We also have Stephen Huff on my right. My name is Keith Chatenover. We appreciate you tuning in for Game 2 of the NECBL Southern Division Championship Series. The Sharks are up in the series 1-0, but it's the Newport Gulls who lead this game by 1. It's 3-2 Newport. Swinging and missing is Josh Spiegel. 0-1. Spiegel, Shapiro, and Chamberlain do up here in the 5th inning. 1-1.
Cherry's looked great so far, especially in that past 4th inning. Looks to retire Spiegel, but then it's Shapiro, Chamberlain, and Raposo, and those are the batters that had all the doubles in a row.
2-1 on Spiegel.
And so even though Cherry's heating up right now and finding his rhythm, it's going to be interesting to see how he battles against the 9-1-2 hitters in this Sharks lineup. Guys that have already done some damage against him here today.
The 2-2 pitch, low and outside. The count's full on Spiegel, 3-2. Well, through the first 2, this game seemed like it was going to be destined for a big Newport win, but the Sharks got 2, and that's where we've been, sort of in homeostasis since then. Fouled back to the backstop, still 3-2.
I think if you're the Vineyard, even though Cherry's in a groove, has 5 strikeouts, Spiegel is doing a great job of it here, but you just have to battle at the plate, up the pitch count, and make it tougher for Cherry. Try to force some of those mistakes.
Well, Cherry is nearing 80 pitches as Spiegel draws a walk, so he's aboard. So that's got ahead of myself. This is about to be pitch number 80. We're about to see to Spiegel. So 79 pitches for Cherry.
Yeah, and with the pitch count going up, I expect to see Jordan Marks out of the pen. He is warming up in the pen as we take a look at the monitors. He's a guy that's been out of the pen before for Newport, also as a starter, but just coming in to get some outs today. I like that move if he's going to be coming in later on.
Colin Shapiro rocks one to center field. Cavalieri going back and reaches up to make the catch over his right shoulder. 1 away.
Shapiro gave that one a ride, and for a second you thought maybe it'll end up in that gap or over the head of Cavalieri, who, like last night, playing in a little bit, but Cavalieri has great speed. We've seen him take great routes to the baseball this season, and he does so. All of that combining that for the first out here in the 5th.
If our producer is listening, I'd love to get another look at the bullpen. For nothing else, I just want to see who's catching for the Sharks. I think that's Isaiah Mestre with catching gear on. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. 0-1 on Chamberlain. This looks like it was his haircut.
Of course, Mestre is a pitcher.
Yes, he is.
For the Sharks.
The 0-1 is low and in, 1-1. Well, remember, the Sharks have their primary catcher, Nick Raposo, behind the plate tonight, and Josh Spiegel's the DH. You can't have your DH out there catching the bullpen pitchers, particularly because he's at first base.
And a lot of people don't think about who's going to be the bullpen catcher.
Yeah.
Oh, it happened against Mystic in the first game in the wild card between those two sides, Newport and the Schooners. They only had 1 catcher, but they were warming up 2 arms. And so the catcher, we caught it on our broadcast for a glimpse of it, but the catcher had to catch one, then bounce to the other side, catch another, bounce back.
The 2-1, the 2-1 is taken for a strike, 2-2.
And we talk about catcher being an unforgiving position. The bullpen catcher is even more so. I mean, you're putting in a lot of work. You're catching some of these guys' worst pitches before they get into a game. So, yeah, got to give a lot of credit to the guys that are out there in the bullpens.
A rare pickoff throw, and back in safely is Spiegel. – . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . That ball's ripped but foul down the right side. Sharks have 3 hits. They all came in the third. Otherwise, it's been relatively smooth sailing for Justin Cherry.
Yeah, Cherry looked great before those 3 doubles, has looked great after those 3 doubles. If you take out just those 3 batters, it's a completely different ballgame.
That ball's lined, going to be just foul down the left side.
And that was a close one, but it just sliced foul. You saw the Vineyard coaches wanting to get a call there already, so waving their guy home, but it just barely sliced foul.
Yeah, I think they made the right call on that one. It was curving to the left and it got just right inside that line right there. Well, third base coach for Martha's Vineyard would not tell you that's what happened.
Well, Jay Mendez wants every break he can get, of course.
And I think Will Bowers, the home plate umpire, had a great look at it straight down the line. And like you said, Nick, I think he made the right call. It was just barely foul.
So again, the 2-2, lofted to right. Thomas is in, and he will make the catch. 2 men away.
And that's a big out there for Cherry. With 1 away, he's able to get a shallow pop-up that keeps Spiegel at first base, and now there's 2 away. We talked about it when the Gulls were at bat in the last inning. It's possible to get 2-out rallies and string some hits together, but with so little forgiveness, it's so difficult to score runs with 2 away and just a runner on first.
They're halfway through up at Mackenzie Stadium in Holyoke. It is still 0-0. That is shaping up to be a pitcher's duel, very similar to what we saw last night at the Shark Tank.
Yeah, and the polar opposite of what they saw last night over there at Alumni Field in Keene.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting because Valley is in the same situation as Newport. Backs against the wall. They have to throw it all out there or their season's over.
The 0-1 grounded up the middle, and right there is Bellini. He'll go the short way to Holtzwasser, and the Sharks are done in the 5th. A walk. And 1 left at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through, and it's the Gulls by 1 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. "70 pitches deep is Daniel Hagerty. And here in the 5th, he will face the heart of the order. Chris Hamilton, Justin Henry, Malloy, and Colton Bender. You know, one of the things I love most about this ballpark is that the fans really are as close to you as they are in any ballpark. Perhaps the only other comparable ballpark is the Shark Tank.
I was going to say, I think the Vineyard is actually pretty similar.
Yeah, a little bit. 1-0 on Hamilton.
Yeah, it's cool here because we're just, a row up from fans that are sitting. Just to the right of Nick are fans, and the left of Michael, our statistician, are fans. You really get the whole ballpark feel because of it, I think.
Yeah. I think at the Shark Tank, you have the enclosure that you don't feel here. And it is nice as Hamilton lines a base hit up the middle. Although it does create more of a press box feel at the Shark Tank, which is also nice to have. But it's certainly a throwback.
Yeah, I mean,
you can imagine.
This is the oldest field in America, they say, and this is just kind of part of that feel. Is you're with everyone else, and it's a cool atmosphere because of it.
Yeah, I like having the fans right next to me for the most part until one of them asks me a question every once in a while in the middle of the game.
It's always you too. They never come to me. They never come to the opposite, opposing broadcaster. Fans always pick out Nick Bello and ask him, hey, can you play this? Can you say this? And
he's a friendly face.
Well,
I think that's why. That's definitely got to be it.
1-1 on Malloy. Well, before in the past, the Sharks haven't had headsets. We've had a mic that we've spoken into on the broadcast, and fans, coming up for the 50-50 raffles and whatnot have always thought that we are the public address announcers. As Malloy skies one to right field, but this will stay in the ballpark, and Burnstead's back to make the catch.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think they think we're the public address announcers too, even though we have the headsets on.
Right, you think the headsets are a pretty good indication.
I think they just see us talking and they think that, but it's all fun because, it creates interaction with the fans and talking to them, before and after the game, sometimes for Nick's case, during the game. It's so great to, have that connection with the community here in Newport.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I'm not completely ragging on the fans here.
You sure about that?
No, let's get that straight here.
0-1 on Colton Bender, who's 1 for 2.
But yeah, it's definitely great to have the fans around you because you pick up on some of the funny things they say, and you also have like the parents sitting next to us, for example.
Late cut and a miss, 0-2 on Bender.
And they're all great. We have Scott Holzwasser's dad who's been sitting in front of us for I think most of the season. Am I right, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean he's been here since the whole season. Always been in front of us, and we always talk to him before the game.
The 0-2 is fouled, and Raposo just unable to come up with it.
And I think that's what's so special. Not only the parents that are here, but then also the parents that come up to visit their kids that are playing here. We had Mike Townsend's family come up. Brett Fossick, his dad and brother came up, and just being able to talk to them and interact with them, it makes it that much more special for the summer.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a family feel here at Newport, not only for the fans, but for the staff here. And it's just probably one of the best things about working here.
0-2. This time, Bender comes up empty, and he has been struck out for the second time. Those Ks are beginning to pile up. There are now 6 of them on my scorecard for Daniel Hagerty.
Yeah, and 2 of them against Colton Bender, who we talked about earlier. One of the tougher guys to strike out, and that just goes to show how filthy Hagerty's stuff can be today. It can absolutely fool guys when he ramps up the speed and then dials it back a notch. He's dealing well.
Lefty on lefty matchup, and Hayden Jones takes a bit short, 1-0. Jones officially 0 for 2. He grounded that chopper that went over the glove of DeSatis for an error that allowed Cavalieri to come around with the first Newport run. The Gulls have not relinquished that lead. They built it up to 3. The Sharks quickly put it back to 1, but so far that's been stubborn, that 1-run deficit for the Vineyard. It's 1-1 on Jones. Bellini would be next. Good off speed, 1-2.
Yeah, and you see the off-speed breaking ball, just back-to-back pitches from Hagerty working against the lefty on lefty matchup. And so that's been the scouting report for the Vineyard. Every time they've had lefties, they attack lefties with breaking balls.
The 1-2 is scooted to the left side. DeSatis back in the hole. His throw is in time. What a play from DeSatis. And a great arm to get rid of Jones and retire the Gulls after the leadoff single. So a hit and 1 left. We're through 5. It's the Gulls by 1 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, I was singing the YMCA in between innings, and Stephen Huff promptly cut me out of that, which is probably for the best for everyone concerned.
It was starting to hurt up here. We had to cut that off.
For the Sharks, it'll be the heart of the order. Raper, Burnstead, and DeSatis. Sharks have never led this game, and the Gulls have been up since the bottom of the first. Raper 0 for 2. Takes outside from Justin Cherry, 1-0. He has now dealt 90 pitches. 2-0 on Raper.
Yeah, and you'd expect Cherry to be done after this inning, probably with this high level of pitch count. It's probably done until the second or third game of the championship if the Gulls get there.
3-0 now.
But nonetheless, Newport has gotten what they need to get out of Justin Cherry tonight. Going on to be 6 innings and 5 strikeouts for the URI product.
The 3-0 is outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Jackson Raper. That is the 3rd walk for Cherry.
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd walk, I like how he's been able to spread them out a little bit. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, and now 1 here in the 6th. You run into trouble when it's one after the other. And there's going to be a meeting on the mound now. It's Kevin Winterode coming out for the goal, so that might be the end of the day for Cherry. But I do like that he hasn't been giving up walk after walk after walk, and I'd say it's been a good day for him.
Well, Cherry had the ball extended as if to give it to Winterode. Winterode hasn't yet taken it from Justin Cherry, and I think Cherry's going to stay in this ball game.
Well, and I think Cherry had the ball out because when Kevin Winterode does come out, it usually results in a pitching change. And so if Greg Zackerson would have been coming out, the ball would have been in his glove and he would have been ready to go. But he was willing to give it up almost because he thought it was coming. And it is coming. There is going to be a pitching change. So That will end the day for Justin Cherry, and we will have more information on the new Newport Gulls pitcher coming up after this break.
We are back. Justin Cherry is out after 5 innings plus, and Jordan Marks will be his replacement.
Yeah, it's the righty from USC upstate. And what I love about Marks, this will be his 10th appearance on the year, but 35 strikeouts in 33 and a thirds innings pitch, but 35 strikeouts to just 8 walks. He's a guy that at the beginning of the season had the ball a little bit too far up in the zone and was hurt because of it, but he is the hardest worker on this staff. He's been able to tinker with his stuff, bring it lower, and he's been nearly unhittable out there since those first couple of not his greatest outings. They weren't terrible outings, but just not up to the par that he wants to be at. But I really like this move because it's a strong, strong arm for the Gulls coming in, trying to shut down the Vineyard lineup.
Jordan Marks replaces Justin Cherry, who went 5 innings plus, gives up 3 hits, at least 2 runs. They are both earned. 3 walks and 5 Ks. He is responsible for Raper at third. Just upstairs to Burnstead, 1-0. And if Newport holds on without relinquishing the lead, Cherry is in line for the win. But a big task ahead for this Newport bullpen. Big cut and a miss.
Yeah, nice slider there from Marks. He's a fastball slider change guy. He went down to Vermont for the All-Star game to throw a bullpen session for all the scouts there. He was low 90s, ended up hitting 95 at one point. So that fastball can be absolutely lively coming out of his arm.
The 1-1 is lined off of a light stanchion and actually ricochets pretty much right back to Marks. It's 1-2.
And how often do you see that? Every now and then you'll see it come back into the play, but not all the way back to the pitcher's mound, essentially.
Yeah, a little pinball action there.
Still 1-2 on Burnstead.
And I think with Marks here, he's gone with the fastball a couple times. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to it, but I do like his slider in these put-out situations.
Burnstead knew it, and he has been struck out for the second time. 1 away in the 6th.
Yeah, first strikeout of the day for Marks. Brought an off-speed pitch right over the heart of the plate, and Burnstead was probably looking for a fastball there because it was a hittable ball over the heart of the zone, but because it was the off-speed, Burnstead, all he could do was watch. First strikeout of the day for Marks on the mound.
So 1 out, and Nander DeSatis coming up. 0-1 on Nander.
Yeah, definitely some nice sequencing we've seen here from Jordan Marks in that last at-bat. Going fastball to start the at-bat, and then coming back with an off-speed pitch, and then doing the same thing towards the end.
The 0-1 is low. It scoots behind Bender, and that is going to be a pass ball charge to Bender. I think that's the right call. Raper goes down to second, and the Sharks have a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, and characteristic there from Bender because he is such a great defensive catcher for the Gulls. And not often does one slip past him, but that one did, and he'll be the first to tell you he should have came away with it. So now a runner in scoring position, the tying run in scoring position for the Sharks.
The 1-1 is lined foul. That one will indeed get out of the ballpark.
For silver linings, though, on that play, it just goes to show that Marks is throwing the right pitches, and even though there's a runner in scoring position, he already has 1 strikeout, and he's ahead in this count 1-2. He just has to keep fighting out there on the mound and keep pitching around the zone, and he's doing a nice job so far.
2-2 on DeSatis.
Yeah, he definitely came in a tough situation. A guy in first with no outs. And then that pass ball right there obviously didn't help his case. But nonetheless, it's been a pretty good start to his outing.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The ball gets away from Bender. The throw to first is going to be in time. Throw back to third is going to be in time. It is a double play. DeSatis is out on a 2-3 putout, and then Raper is out on a 2-3-5 putout, and the Sharks are done in the top of the 6th. What a play from Bender, and then Hamilton with the alert throw over to Jones, and Raper strayed too far off of the third base bag, and the Sharks squander an opportunity. We're through 5.5. It's the Gulls by 1 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We are back for the bottom of the 6th, and I'm going to turn it back over to the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff. Stephen, please take it away.
Thank you, Keith. It will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 6th, as they lead by just a run, 3-2 here at Cardines. Still out there on the mound for a 6th inning of work is the starter for the Vineyard, Daniel Hagerty.
Well, he's only had 84 pitches, so why the heck not?
He comes into a similar situation that Justin Cherry came in last inning, but Cherry had about 5 to 8 more pitches more to start the inning. Was later pulled after a leadoff walk as that first pitch breaking ball drops into the zone to Bellini. 0-1.
Yeah, his line is complete. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, in line for the win.
Now on the 0-1. Pitch drops beneath the zone and goes all the way back to the backstop after Raposo couldn't come away with it. 1-1. And I think Cherry's start was exactly what you needed out of him. Get you to at least the 6th innings. This 1-1 is dribbled foul down the third base line. He had 5 strikeouts in 5 innings. Like we said, spread out those walks well. I thought it was a really productive day for him on the mound.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to get out of your starter if you're Newport. You know, you want him to go deep, so you don't go into your bullpen too early.
This 1-2 pitch going to be cut on and chopped foul down the third base line once again. And not only that, even if, you know, you wanted him to get through 6 innings, you're turning to Jordan Marks now, who, like we said, has been a starter for the Gulls, so he can work a little bit longer innings of relief. As that pitch is tipped at the plate. Raposo can't squeeze it.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they'd go with Sansom because that's who they've been going to, or someone who they've been relying on lately. But I definitely like to move to Jordan Marks.
This 1-2 once again chopped foul down the third base line. I think Sansone could be a guy late in this game, especially if it's still a close one, or they might just try to keep Sansone for tomorrow in the rubber match that will send one of these two teams to the NECBL championship. Now Hagerty looking on the 1-2. He's set at the letters, and there's going to be time called at the plate. Joey Bellini calling time before Hagerty could get into his windup. Now on the 1-2, going to be popped up into the infield. Hagerty looks to be underneath it. The whole infield is coming around him, and he calls it off for out number 1.
Only Hagerty.
Well, I tell you what,
do that. I mean, you're supposed to give it up.
Right, you
as a
are.
pitcher.
But they are living true to their Sharks name. They were swarming him as he came off the mound. That was the most action I've seen from all 4 infielders in one play.
It looked like they were doing a little team drill right there.
That's what it seemed like, but Hagerty was able to record the out as Brett Fossick settles in. He watches this first pitch drop beneath the zone, 1-0.
A P1 just looks really weird on my scorecard.
That might be the first time I've written that all summer. As this 1-0 pitch catches the outer half, 1-1. On the 1-1 now. Off speed, check swing from Fossick, but they're going to say he went around at a pitch that dropped beneath the zone, 1-2. On the 1-2 now, going to be chopped over to second base. Slavin's with it. He flips it over to first, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Hagerty has now retired the last 5 batters up at the plate for Newport. He's looking to retire his 6th in a row. He'll face off against Isaiah Thomas. Thomas is 1 for 2 on the day, singled and scored in the 2nd before grounding out to end, or in the 4th, on a 4-3 putout. That first pitch was in there for strike 1. On the 0-1, fastball misses low, 1-1. It's a lefty on righty matchup for Hagerty on the mound.
And you'd think this would be the last inning for Hagerty, hovering around 100 pitches right now.
That off speed drops into the zone, 1-2. And yeah, if you're the Vineyard, though you've given up 3 runs and you're trailing by just a run, it's still a productive day for Hagerty, especially if he gets out of this inning.
Oh, absolutely.
Now on the 1-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. 7th strikeout of the day for Hagerty, and that will end things here in the 6th as the goals go down in order. Heading into the 7th, it's still 3-2 Newport here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 7th, next to 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Vineyard, trailing by just a run. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Vineyard Sharks, Keith Chattonover, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello.
You know, I love 7th inning rallies, and if the Sharks are going to be back in this game, they could certainly use one. Vedetto, Slavens, and Spiegel due up. I work in those buffer songs. I do my best.
Set first offering fastball to Vedetto on the outer half for strike 1. Vedetto is 0 for 2 on the day, struck out his last time up, but did reach on an error in his first plate appearance as he tips this one back into the screen, 0-2. Marks is out there for his first full inning of work. As he's faced 2 batters here today so far coming out of the bullpen, struck them both out. This 0-2 offering fastball just misses outside, 1-2.
That didn't miss by much from Jordan Marks.
Good pitcher's pitch there from him, but Vedetto was able to lay off, and now on the 1-2. Another fastball swung through for strike 3. 3 strikeouts on the day for Marks, all 3 in a row.
Yeah, he's looked great out of the pen.
And the Gulls needed the best outing from Marks in this situation, only up by a run, and it seems like they are getting a peak Marks appearance out there towing the rubber. That will now bring up Brady Slavens. He's 0 for 2 on the day, also with a strikeout as he pops this first pitch back into the screen.
Last time the Sharks were here, we saw Brady Slavens clear the netting above the right field fence. Not just the fence, but then the netting.
Yeah, he hit an absolute shot out there over the 41-foot netting in right field as this ball is going to be hit into left. Hayden Jones going back, and it's going to drop between him, Holzwasser, and Vosick. So the first 3 batters Marks faced, he was able to strike out. The 4th batter is able to get the first hit of the day off of him with a 1-out single.
Yeah, just perfectly placed by Slavens, and he took a big turn but thought better of it. He would have been out at second on a good throw from Vosick. And so the Sharks have a 1-out base runner. The tying run on base with Josh Spiegel coming up.
Marks looking in on to Spiegel. Righty on righty matchup. First offering fastball. Sing up 1-0. Last time out for Marks was out of the bullpen. It came against the Keene Swamp Bats in the last week of regular season action. He went 1 2/3 of scoreless baseball, giving up just 1 hit, no walks while striking out 2. As this fastball misses low, pops out of the glove of Bender, but not far enough for Slavens to advance.
And you saw Spiegel there helping out Slavens. It's one of those responsibilities that some hitters forget to complete, but Spiegel did well there to help out Slavens.
Now on the 2-0, another fastball low, 3-0. Last time up for Spiegel, he did work a walk. That was in the 5th, where he was later stranded at first. He's also struck out looking on the day. He's now on the 3-0, fastball over the heart of the plate, 3-1. That one seemed to have a little bit more pop in the glove of Bender than most of Marks' fastball.
Yeah, definitely a kind of an anger pitch right there by Marks.
Now on the 3-1, another fastball popped back into the screen, 3-2, and you see him just sticking with the fastball tonight. That's 5 in a row here to Spiegel. We talked about how it's been low 90s, even up to 95 in his bullpen session, and it seems to be another great night for Marks and his fastball here.
Yeah, you know, you stick with what you know when you're in trouble, and it seems like that's been the pitch.
He comes back with another fastball, lined right back into the screen. Count remains full.
We've seen 2 of those tonight. The first time there was a fan walking with a tray of food, and they made no movement when that ball was coming right at them. This time we had a group of fans, and they most certainly ducked out of the way.
Well, tried to scatter as quick as they could. It's the payoff pitch. Going to be lofted in the foul territory along the right field side, but on top of the rooftop there, onto a porch, the apartment close to the warehouse, and the count remains full.
I just saw that for the first time. We got some rooftop seating up there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is a heck of a spot to watch the ball
One of the
game.
best spots to catch it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look how that is a seat right
Look
there.
at that lawn chair out there on
yeah.
top of the roof.
You might see me out there in an inning or two.
This 3-2 pitch misses up, and Spiegel's aboard with his second walk of the day. First walk for Marks on the mound, and there's runners on first and second now for the Vineyard.
Yeah, if you don't hear from me for a while, you know where I've gone to. I mean,
Well, it's my play-by-play innings, so if you want
yeah.
to take a break, it's all yours. That would be, I mean, here's the thing. That would be sweet if you could get up there and we could work a broadcast or something. We talked about it before. It's a long shot, obviously, as Marks throws over to Holzwasser, who's not even on the bag. He's over there at short.
Well, that was a somewhat good play from Marks. He was about to throw it, realized no one was at second, so he just needed to release the ball to someone, and it was
a great
accurate to
adjustment.
Holzwasser. Exactly.
It's now the first offering to Shapiro. Fastball at the letters for strike one.
And that's always a tough time to go over and try and pick a guy off. You know, you're in between batters, got a Holzwasser, you're clearly not paying attention. And it could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, that throw could have ended up in center field somewhere, and everyone could have advanced, but Marks was able to make the most of it. It's now in the 0-1. Fastball going to be lined over to Holzwasser. He gloves it, throws to second to double up Slavens. And that will end things here in the top half of the seventh. It's stretch time here in Newport, and the Gulls lead by 1 run. It's 3-2 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the seventh, still 3-2, Newport on top. As stretch time is over here at Cardines, and we're ready for another half inning of baseball. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Vineyard, Keith chatting over, and the Newport Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello.
You know, I don't mind standing for this half inning right here. We've been sitting for most of the game, as we do every game.
Well, I tell you what, at the Vineyard, we stand for the whole game.
I couldn't do that.
It's actually kind of, I like it. It's fantastic.
Well, yeah, I used to never do that, but there was a banister that was put in front of the press box, and it made it so that when you were sitting, it was really hard to see the field. You had to kind of crane your neck, and it was frankly easier to stand. I wasn't standing for a while. I think the first broadcaster we had was Jake Graziano, and he stood, and I was like, well, I guess I'll stand. And ever since, it's been standing. Now, I sit when I am doing the color.
Right. I stand up the whole time. I kind of like the feel. Sometimes, you know, the legs get cramped up a little.
Yeah, no,
we're
I
sitting
get
all
it.
summer.
Yeah,
guys.
I know.
mean, we got to stand a little.
Are we going to stand up?
I'm sitting down.
Oh, okay, we're sitting down.
You guys can stand. And
we're back down, folks.
We're back down. If you're watching here on the NECBL Broadcast Network, you see it. If you're listening, we're just telling you about it. But I tell you what, at Upper Valley, too, they're redoing their whole press box. It's going to be really nice up there. And so for where it's at right now, we're standing up and watching. But it's going to be pretty nice up there for the Nighthawks. Is that first pitch fastball in there to Scott Holzwasser for strike one.
Yeah, you know, as we sat down, I could feel the blood going back to my legs. It's nice to know they're still there.
Nick will hopefully survive with us as this 0-1 offering misses outside. 1-1.
You know, I have long legs too, so it's tough for me, you know, to sit here because we're very cramped. We have this blue tarp in front of us. That makes it kind of hard for me to stretch my legs. So any chance I get, try and stretch them out.
So there is actually a new pitcher on the mound this half inning for the Sharks. Is that 1-1 pitch miss low and away? 2-1.
Yeah, we were so busy discussing our standing habits, we didn't mention that Mark Mendel is in the game for the Sharks, replacing Daniel Hagerty. Mendel, the side armor out of Kansas.
This offering misses outside. 3-1. And you know what? I think Mendel can take a few pitches before we announce him. We were talking about the important things, our longevity of our legs and health.
Yeah, clearly more important than the ball game we're supposed to be talking about.
Mendel looking on righty matchup. This is 3-1 offering. Fastball going to be swung on and lofted into right field, but slicing foul on top of that warehouse, and a count is now full. So that will officially end the day for Daniel Hagerty, the starter on the mound for the Sharks. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, just 2 of them earned off of 7 hits and 3 walks, while striking out 7. As this one's going to be fisted back to the new pitcher. Mendel with it, throws to first, and there's one away here in the 7th.
Yeah, and Hagerty is on the hook for the loss if the Sharks don't come back, but that would be a tough loss. He was really, really good for this Vineyard team tonight. Like you said, 2 earned runs in 6 innings. That's a 3 ERA, and if you pitch to a 3 ERA in the MLB, you're expected to win, at this point, 10, 15 ball games?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're going to win a lot of your games.
Yeah, and that's a tough loss if that comes to fruition for Hagerty.
So there is one away here in the 7th. That will bring up Greg Cavalieri. Switch hitters. He's hitting from the left side of the plate now with the righty on the mound as that first pitch fastball missed up 1-0. You got to like the sidearm delivery from Mendel, too. I mean, completely different arm slot that might be a little bit tougher for the Gulls to pick up.
Yeah, something you really don't see from pitchers in college today.
Yeah, we don't see a lot in the NECBL because it's a rarity in college. Is that 1-0 swung on and missed, 1-1. So when they're out there, everyone's kind of looking in like an animal at the zoo, just trying to watch him and see what tricks he has. Mendel is looking on the 1-1, working from the first base side of the rubber. On the 1-1 fastball, nice 2-seamer that broke in on the inner half, 1-2.
Good pitch there from Mendel with Hamilton due up. This is a big assignment for him. Top of the order, big game. Sharks need to remain close with the Gulls.
Now on the 1-2, off speed. Cavalieri thought about it. They're going to say he didn't go around as the pitch missed up and in.
For a second, I didn't see the third base umpire behind a stanchion, and I thought the home plate umpire was pointing to nobody, but of course he was correct. I am not. And the third base umpire did signal no swing. 2-2 on Cavalieri.
Now on the 2-2. Fastball going to be sliced foul down the third base line. Winterroad picked up a leg and it went underneath it.
Winterroad could not have had less interest in picking up that ball.
Yeah, that's typical Winterroad out there in foul territory.
I want some effort. I want some.
I'll let you tell him that. I'm not getting in his ear for that one.
Yeah, it definitely would not be one of the people who told him that.
He would actually laugh it off. He's a great guy. He's so even keel and just always has a smile on his face. It's now on the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Cavalieri way late on the fastball up. First strikeout of the day for Mendel. 8th of the day for the Vineyard staff.
Yeah, really, it's been 2 very well pitched games so far in this series.
And so with 2 away, that will bring up the lefty Chris Hamilton. He's coming into this one with a 31-game on-base streak. He singled his last time up, so that's now up to 32 games. The first offering going to be swung at and popped back into the screen.
And that is so hard to do, especially in summer collegiate baseball after you've been playing. You play a full season of college before coming here.
He didn't really have a break and then came here and just been one of the more consistent bats for the Gulls. Obviously 31 straight games that he has reached base safely. Now the 0-1 comes inside. He picks up his back foot as the ball sneaks underneath it. 1-1.
Valley has taken a 1-0 lead despite having only 1 hit in the ball game.
But judging from last night, that game is far from over.
Oh, yes.
This 1-1 offering. Fastball going to be driven over to second, right into Slavin's glove, and that will retire the side in order here in the 7th. Heading into the 8th, it's still a 1-run ball game. 3-2, Gulls on top here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th, 3-2 Newport on top. It's set for the final 6 outs in the Vineyard bats. They're going to look to spark a comeback here in the top of the 8th. And it will be the top of the lineup due up for the Vineyard. Chamberlain leading things off. And so if you're looking for some runs, looking for a comeback, this seems like the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, top of the order. This is when the Sharks need to get to hitting.
It'll be a righty on lefty matchup where Mark's on the mound. First offering to Chamberlain, swung on and missed at a fastball up, 1-0. Chamberlain is 1 for 3 on the day. Ground out, a fly out, and a double, an RBI double in between as this 0-1 pitch catches the corner low and inside, 0-2. Also scored a run after that RBI double. As Marks is looking on the 0-2. Fastball up, check swing from Chamberlain. He held back, and it's 1-2. On the 1-2 now, this one's going to be lofted into right. Thomas a couple steps back, and he's there, and there's one away.
Sharks starting to run out of chances. 5 outs left to play with. Nick Raposo, the batter.
That will now bring up, as you said, Nick Raposo. He's 1 for 3 on the night. He also had an RBI double in the third. He's responsible for the second run of the day for the Vineyard. Righty on righty matchup. First pitch fastball lined into right. Thomas is able to scoop it up. A little awkward catch there from him, but it's good enough for out number 2.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable, but an out's an out. 2 men away with Jackson Raper coming up.
Is your typical in-between catch where you don't know which way to put the glove, and he's able to basket catch it right around his thigh level. And there's 2 away here in the 8th. That will now bring up Jackson Raper. Watches this first pitch fastball in there for strike 1. Raper on the day 0 for 2, but he has reached base safely once. His last time up, he worked a walk as he's going to line this one back into the backstop, 0-2. So Marks still sticking with that fastball. That's all we've seen this inning. He's on the 0-2, comes back with a pitch that misses in, 1-2.
Look to be fastball again. I mean, that's what's working for him, so I don't mind him sticking with it.
Yeah, and I like it. You know, sometimes you think guys can get a little bit too crafty out there, but if that pitch is working, why switch it up? As that one was the off speed, and Raper was out in front, but he's able to just tip it back into the backstop.
And, you know, it's not like it's just kind of this fastball just going over the plate. He's really throwing it hard, and he's throwing it in spots that, you know, it's tough for hitters to even get a bat on it.
He's now on the 1-2. Line back into the screen. Raper able to stay alive.
He's had some good cuts in this at-bat.
Yeah, you know, and it wouldn't surprise me here if Jordan Marks went with like a changeup or a slider just to kind of fool Raper right here.
And his first strikeout came on a changeup after pounding the fastball a lot. Had a slider in there and then had this changeup to catch Burnside who was probably looking for a fastball. He's now on the 1-2, comes back with the fastball and it just misses out. 2-2.
Oh, that was not popular with the fans here at Cardines.
Yeah, it is a close borderline call. They ruled it out. It's 2-2. As now Marks out of the windup. The pitch swung on and missed. Bender tags him out to complete the strikeout as Marks retires the side in order. Heading into the bottom of the 8th, it's still 3-2. Newport on top here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 8th, still a 1-run ball game as the Gulls lead 3-2. And it's going to be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for Newport as they look to tack on an insurance run heading into the 9th inning. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Vineyard, Keith Chattonover, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello.
Thanks, Stephen.
It's still Mendel out there on the mound, first offering fastball low and away for ball 1. Now, Nick, since you're with us here in the booth and you often check the out-of-town scores, I'm going to send it your way in just a second. So we watch Mendel on the mound working against Malloy, but I know that Keene game and Valley game, I think Valley scored an opening run. Is it still 1-0?
Yeah, it seems like it is still 1-0. As my computer, yes, still 1-0 Valley.
This one's going to be shot over to DeSatis, diving to his left. He throws to first, one hop over there, and he's able to retire Malloy on an excellent defensive play.
Spectacular play from DeSatis. As you can see on the dive to his left, a strong throw, an easy pickup for Vedetto. 1 away.
So there is one away here in the bottom of the 8th. That will bring up now Colton Bender. 1 for 3 on the day, singled his first plate appearance, and since then has gone down swinging over the last 2. It's a righty-on-righty matchup. First offering dribbled back into the screen, 0-1. So we take a look at tonight's attendance here at Cardines. 3,106 fans joined us for a win or go home game for the Gulls in the Southern Division Championship game.
It's a lot of people.
They have willed the Gulls with the lead. That 0-1 pitch runs in and nicks Bender on the arm. And so he's aboard with a 1-out hit by pitch.
Only barely grazing Bender with that fastball was Mendel. So Jones the batter. Mendel will have to will be forced to work from the stretch for the first time. Got no choice now.
We talked about the fan atmosphere coming into this one and how it was lively at the Vineyard yesterday. Of course, over 3,000 joining us here tonight. Another excellent crowd, and if the results hold here today, we expect another good crowd over there on Martha's Vineyard for the rubber match between these two teams. So that first pitch missed low for ball 1. Mendel looking on, righty on lefty matchup, throws over to first, but Bender's back in time. 3-2 your score here in the bottom of the 8th. Gulls on top with 1 away. A runner on first. On the 1-0. Fastball going to be grounded up the middle. DeSatis scoops it up, throws to second for 1, throw to first in time for out number 3. As the Gulls go down in the 8th. No runs off of no hits, no errors, and a hit batter, as they don't leave anyone stranded after that 6-4-3 double play. Heading into the 9th, still 3-2 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Vineyard down to their final 3 outs here in the 9th as they trail the Gulls 3-2. As if the Gulls do win this one, we will be in action tomorrow back in the Shark Tank between these two sides to decide who will go in to the NECBL Championship. As it will be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Sharks this inning. First offering from Marks. Fly ball into right. That's playable. Thomas over to his left, and he's there for out number 1.
Yeah, so Burnstead is retired on the first pitch. He was the Sharks' best chance to tie this game with 1 swing in the 9th. Instead, he is retired on a lazy fly, 1 away.
That will bring up Nander DeSatis. Vedetto on deck for the Sharks. Both of them combined are 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts, although Vedetto did reach base on an error early on. Righty on lefty matchup against the switch hitting DeSatis as Mark steps off the mound to gather himself for this matchup. Mark's now set at the letters out of the windup. First offering, fastball in there for strike 1.
And the Gulls have really gotten a good performance out of Jordan Marks so far. You know, has really come in here, hasn't allowed any runs, and has gotten the job done.
That first pitch didn't look remotely close, and Jay Mendez has hands up on the right side, left side, as if to say, what was that?
Just 0-1 fastball in there at the knees again, 0-2.
Yeah, DeSatis is not liking that strike zone.
And how about this crowd right now here at Cardines?
They're into it, no doubt.
3,106 all into this at bat as this 0-2 fastball going to be popped up towards the bullpens and out of play. Count remains. Marks now on the 0-2. Slider just inside, 1-2.
These fans are hanging on every pitch.
That's playoff baseball for you. That's what you love to see. Is this 1-2 offering. Fastball going to be driven into the right center gap. Is it over? It's going to be off the wall. Cavalieri with it in center. He throws down to second, and the throw is in time. And the Vineyard is down to their final out.
Oh, what a play from Cavalieri. to gun down DeSatis, who just missed a game-tying home run.
How
He
about
only
that?
barely missed. High off the fence, and he is thrown out at second. And the Sharks are down to their final out here at Cardines. Oh, what a play.
There is 2 away, and that has to be the play of the game so far for the Gulls as it brings up Anthony Vedetto.
Oh, what a range of emotions. I thought the game was tied. Instead, DeSatis is out. That's a tough break for the Vineyard.
And nice play by Scott Holzwasser to get on one knee to scoop that ball.
That first pitch, fastball low to Vedetto, 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, Holzwasser made a great play right there. Gets down on one knee for the tag. I mean, you can't get better than that. They don't teach you that stuff, kids.
That 1-0 is going to be off his hands. Popped up to Hayden Jones, and he's there for out number 3. And the Gulls stay alive in this one, taking down the Vineyard 3-2. So we get set for the rubber match tomorrow in the Vineyard. Don't go anywhere. Post-game show coming up next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It was a wild one that held the fans on the edge of their seats until the end of the game, but Newport was able to keep the Sharks at bay as they win this one by a run. 3-2 your final score. The Gulls came out scoring early in this one, putting up a run in the first after Greg Cavalieri singled and later came around to score. Then in the second, the Gulls put up 2 runs after back-to-back singles from Brett Vosick and Isaiah Thomas, who later scored the runs. You had the RBI from Greg Cavalieri and the sacrifice fly from Chris Hamilton. The Sharks would answer back with 2 runs of their own in the top of the third after back-to-back doubles. Played at 2 for the Vineyard, but that was it for them on the day. Starting on the mound for the Gulls was Justin Cherry. He went 5 innings, giving up just 2 runs with 5 strikeouts on the day. And then Jordan Marks with 4 innings pitched. Didn't give up a run, gave up just 2 hits and a walk while striking out 4. And it was another close game, a 1-run game like we saw last night. And it was nearly decided in the 9th. The Vineyard tried to make that comeback, but they weren't able to. And Keith, it was an excellent game. Exactly what you expect out of the playoff baseball between these 2 sides.
And exactly what we saw last night. I mean, we saw a 1-run affair last night, the exact same tonight. Last night, we saw 10 hits. The teams really scratched out tonight. They went all the way up to 12. I mean, we have just seen really spectacular pitching. Cherry and Marks were both solid for Newport. So, frankly, were Hagerty and Mendel, but just wasn't enough for the Sharks. Not enough offense, and Nander DeSatis just missing a game-tying home run in the 9th, then is thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. And that is a perfect microcosm for a tough offensive evening for the Vineyard. But we will be back for a Game 3 tomorrow night at the Shark Tank, and that should be a good one to decide the winner of the South.
Yeah, it was 2-1 yesterday, 3-2 today. Both games decided by 1 run. As you said, we will be back in action tomorrow in what should be a great final game to send one of these teams to the NECBL Championship. But for my partner, Keith Chattonover, you were here last week. This is your last time here at Cardines. It's always a pleasure being with you. Of course, I'll see you tomorrow, but thank you for making the trip and being here, and safe travels on your ferry ride back.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to work with you two. It's a fun place to be.
So for my broadcast counterpart, Keith Chattonover, I'm Stephen Huff, joined alongside Nick Bello. And Nick, this was a wild one. The Gulls came away with that win. Obviously, Cavalieri has an RBI single in the second, scored a run in the first. He's responsible for 2 of the 3 Gulls runs, and then he saved a run in the 9th after he fielded that ball off the wall and then was able to throw down to second to retire DeSatis, who was moving into scoring position for the Sharks. So he has to be tonight's player of the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree on that. I mean, a lot of great defensive plays tonight by the Gulls to, kind of keep Martha's Vineyard from even getting close to winning this game. I mean, defense wins championships, and we've seen it so far from Newport.
Well, it was a great one. The Gulls come away with that 3-2 victory. I'm going to go find Greg. Post-game is all yours. Nick, take it away.
Thank you, Steven. Once again, The Newport Gulls win the second game of 3 against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, 3-2 here at home at Cardines Field. 3 runs for the Newport Gulls, 4 hits, and for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, 2 runs and 8 hits for the Gulls, 4 hits for the Sharks. I am joined here by my good friend John Perrick. Now, John, this game had a lot of crazy plays in it. Which one would be your favorite play from tonight?
Well, if I'm going to go to one play, I've got to go to that double play to end, I believe it was the 7th inning, on a line shot right up the middle. It looked like it might be an RBI single to kind of bring the Vineyard back into this. Instead, it was caught, I believe, by Scott Holzwasser and then turned into a double play just like that. And the reason why that's my play of the game is because when you look at last night's game, Newport, although they didn't have that many opportunities in the end, in the 6th inning, with 1 out, they had the bases loaded, and Justin Henry Malloy hit into a very similar double play. And tonight, just how the game went. Pitching kind of ruled. It was a very similar field to last night, but tonight, of course, Newport on the winning side.
And you get this win, kind of in the middle of these 3 games. What does this do for the momentum going forward for the Newport Gulls?
Well, you know what? It's got that kind of that feel to it, where tonight it was go big or go home. Really going into it, I didn't know what to expect. The Gulls, of course, spent a long summer. They can just throw this game, and then they're heading home. Newport battled. Justin Cherry competed. Jordan Marks competed. And the Gulls have earned the chance to play in a Game 3. So momentum-wise, this means a lot. Because right now, of course, how the playoff bracket is set up, it's not who's the better team that really dominates. It's who's hot. Right now, Newport, they're going to bring a lot of momentum into tomorrow, and I guess we're going to have to see.
Staying on a lot of momentum. How about the crowd here tonight at Cardines? They were fantastic. They got really the energy. They brought the energy here to the ballpark tonight. At some points, I was standing up just feeding from the crowd after some big plays. Just talk about the crowd and how much they played a part in tonight's win.
Oh, it was humongous. Of course, we saw a big crowd in that go big or go home game, that wild card field game against Mystic a few days ago. That was a great crowd, very into it. Again tonight, of course, there are multiple points when you could feel the crowd's presence. And of course, here in Newport, they do have a good show. They oftentimes have a good showing for each of their home games. However, it's more of a touristy feel. There's not really a definite fan base that really comes strictly for the Newport Gulls. But tonight, I don't think that was the case. It was a clear playoff crowd. They wanted a win, and that's what the team delivered.
And so we're about to send it down to Stephen Huff in a quick second, as Greg Cavalieri is being swarmed by kids right now. As you can see there on your screen, he's signing autographs. The guy deserved it. The guy deserves, some praise tonight for what he did, especially in the 9th after throwing a runner out at second to really save the Gulls tonight. Seems like he's signing one more autograph, and we'll send it down to Steven. But, the pitching tonight for Newport was phenomenal as well. 5 innings pitched for Justin Cherry, 5 strikeouts, and we're going to send it down to Stephen Huff. So, Steven, take it away.
I'm with tonight's player of the game, Greg Cavalieri, and we'll start off with the offense side because you had a pair of singles today. You had an RBI. You also scored a run. You're responsible for 2 of the Gulls' 3 runs. You're doing well at the plate. What were you seeing?
Just trying to see balls up. My first at bat, I believe I got a broken bat single, but he was living down a lot with his fastball and off speed. You just have to see it up, especially with a lefty that has that run. You just got to see balls up and think middle, opposite field, so you can stay through balls instead of just rolling them over.
And then, of course, in the top of the 9th, this was the play that saved the Gulls season. Nander DeSatis had the single off the wall. A lot of people thought it was gone. You made a play, threw down to second, and got him out in time.
Yeah, I saw the ball off the bat. I knew I wasn't going to get there, so I figured I'd just play it off the wall. It took a pretty true hop, and I was there, so I just picked up the ball, looked at second, and I got it in quick enough to get him.
Now, we caught you on the camera. You were laughing and smiling after that play. Did you surprise yourself a little bit?
I wasn't really expecting it. It was a bang-bang play. I saw the ball going in, and he was running. It just, happened in slow motion. I just literally watching it all happen. It just looked like slow motion. It was a good feeling.
Well, it was a great job and nice work out there tonight, and good luck tomorrow. Tonight's player of the game, Greg Cavalieri, as we send it back up to you guys in the booth.
So Greg Cavalieri is our player of the game, and also probably came up with the biggest play of the game for Newport tonight. But before we send it down to Greg, let's talk about the pitching for Newport. 5 innings pitched and 5 strikeouts for Justin Cherry, and then to relieve Cherry, we brought in Jordan Marks. 4 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, and 12 at bats. Allowed 1 hit and no runs. So John, I mean, you had some great plays in the field and some great plays at the plate, but your pitching too came in strong. And how important is that this late in the postseason?
Oh, it's absolutely humongous. And I was a little surprised to see Jordan Marks in there at that point. I was kind of expecting even possibly Jimmy Kingsbury or Mike Sandstone. We didn't see them for the second straight night. We went to who in many situations appeared to be the probable starter for Game 3. He went in as a reliever, and he was dominant.
All right. Thank you, John. And we're going to send down to Stephen Huff to close things out. So, Stephen, take it away.
The Gulls faced elimination tonight, but were able to come away with a 3-2 victory over the Vineyard, and will be back tomorrow in the rubber match against the Sharks over there in Martha's Vineyard to send one of the 2 teams into the NECBL Championship. For tonight, I'd like to thank our executive producer and director, Tom Lima, producer Shannon Carlson, associate producer Rob Sanchez, audio technician Arthur Smith, on-site engineer Shayna Wintraub, production assistants Mike Abbott and Tess Rote, statistician Michael Garman, the field reporter Nick Bello, and the voice of the Vineyard, Keith Chattonover. I'm Stephen Huff saying goodnight from the City by the Sea.